would you look at that, the best part of my day. Even when we washing out and get a face full of hay, trying to make our way down and you don't want to crash. We all know what it's like dealing with the road rash, but we always get right back up after a good slam. The Can't Kickflip podcast, please enjoy the program.
What's up, Brandon?
What's up, dude?
I'm not sure if we've ever officially met in person. I know you do you still live in Portland?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Were you living in Portland in 2016 or 2017?
I might have been, but I probably like around those times was like traveling a lot. So I'd either like be here for a little bit and then be out of town. But I feel like right around that time period, I'd come up here for just the summers and then kind of go back to Southern Oregon for the winters and work.
Okay. I'm just trying to think if we've ever crossed paths before throughout the years.
Dude, maybe. I feel like I got to meet a lot of awesome people at like a bunch of skate events. So I was like, just trying to like say what's up to everybody if possible. But it's hard. Like last names are super helpful. Like, and I met so many people that it's like, man, try it. And then like these days, yeah, like playing a lot of music and meeting a lot of people that way. So I'm like, fuck, dude, I've met so many people in like a few different communities and stuff that it's like, yeah, gotta kind of keep going to the skate events to keep familiarity up. So.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one. You definitely meet a lot of people at especially when you go to a lot of skate events. Oh man, who are you riding for nowadays?
Dude, no sponsors these days. I'm just skating, enjoying it, enjoying skating like whatever I feel like skating. But
I hear you, man.
it's funny, like the setup these days is pretty much just like I got like a Comet board from Aaron Breitwer like maybe like 4 years ago or 5 years ago.
Right.
And that kind of like got me back into hill bombing because I had a small set of slalom trucks and I put them on there and I was like, actually, dude, this board works really good. So was able to get back into like kind of doing a little couple events here and there and going to Maryhill a few times a year because yeah, it's only like an hour and a half drive from where I live, and me and the homie Casey Mora, we've been trying to get out there and do some hiking. So trying to just keep it, pretty mellow, but also just trying to skate closed roads, not necessarily like playing on open mountain roads really as much anymore.
Right on, dude.
Yeah, it seems like when I look at your style of skating, Brandon, like you've always been like the kind of person who wants like a safe or controlled environment, like a skate park. What do you think?
Yeah, totally. There's not a lot of stuff that's like that for downhill skating. Thankfully, up here in Portland, switchbacks just reopened like this year or something, and it was like unskatable for I think 8 years, and it's just like three corners, but that spot means a lot to like a lot of different people for being able to have a skate park for downhill skating. And then even when it's wet, it's like it's still super fun. But yeah, it's like I just watched a video earlier of Antonio who skates for Arbor these days, and he's like skating in Laguna, and I'm like, man, I've skated those roads, and there's just cars parked all over the streets, and it's just like, dude, I just like don't want any part of that anymore. But do kind of like want to maybe do a little trip out to North Carolina and skate some of that stuff out there because it looks like a lot of closed roads.
Yeah, if you haven't been, it's highly recommended.
Yep, still haven't been. I had one homie do a trip out there. He was really excited, and yeah, when he came back, he was like, I think I'm gonna move out there. I was like, dude, no. Like we kind of had a situation like that where I was living in Southern Oregon. Thanks to Connor Stanek, he ended up finding a bunch of like closed roads that turns out like they couldn't build houses because the road was too steep And there was like 3 or 4 situations like that where we had closed roads to play downhill on, and just like had nothing to worry about. So you could get really good. And yeah, eventually we figured out, like we could get cars inside the gates. One of them, my favorite spot is like we called like Holy Mountain, like didn't have a gate, but it was yeah, pretty quick to shuttle. I would use my pickup truck I used to have to shuttle everybody up that thing. Um, and it only had like a couple of corners, but it was really steep. And yeah, it taught us a lot as far as like it's so weird. Like I see how everybody double drifts into stuff now, doing a right to a left, or and we had a road that kind of like taught us how to do that early on. But didn't really ever think, like, you always kind of just thought back when I was competing and filming a lot, it was like, oh, you just do one slide into stuff. You don't want to like sketch people out by doing 2 slides into things. Um, but it's cool to see how like things have changed. Honestly, I think it looks like safer, and obviously, yeah, like times are the economy's pretty tough, so people are like, oh, I gotta drift my wheels evenly and make the wheels last. So it's like it makes sense.
Oh yeah. Well, let's kind of get into um the origin of how you guys like learn to skate a road like Holy Mountain. Like if you've not seen a video of Holy Mountain, it's super steep, really sharp corners, very narrow. Like how did you guys come upon like gaining the skills to go and skate those kind of roads?
Yeah, I guess started with skating with this homie that's passed away now, David McGill. He was like my good friend, and also introduced me to Carmen Schaefer. And then later on down the road, I met Alicia Philback through that as well. And we honestly just started by skating these undeveloped neighborhoods not far from like the town of like Medford, Oregon. Um, and yeah, just trying to like slowly ease our way into learning how to pre-drift. But then pretty quickly it was like, like you kind of with down, it's like funny how like if you have that like speed itch, you just kind of want to like do a quicker drift the next time you go out, or see, like what how much steeper or how much faster of a corner you want to skate. Um, so yeah, we progressed a lot skating in these undeveloped areas, and I still think I'm like, dude, there's probably not houses in some of those areas. Um, but eventually meeting Connor, and there was I think like a 541 longboarding thing like down in Southern Oregon. And like a lot of those dudes like didn't want to learn how to drift; they just wanted to like skate the highways that we had out in Ashland. There was some like 12-mile mountain roads that you didn't have to drift for, with some like pretty good top speeds. But eventually I realized it was like, oh, these dudes like they could only like do like a pendy, and they didn't want to learn how to drift backside, or they didn't want to like learn how to do kind of like a shorter slide. So I started kind of like wanting to learn that, and only a couple people were into it, and Connor was one of them. And it was sick to have like a friend to skate with that wanted to kind of like go faster and try learning race lines and stuff.
Was there a nice mix of it all, or were you kind of forced into skating with certain people based on what you guys wanted to skate or the styles you wanted to skate?
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's kind of like no limitations. I feel like when I got into longboarding or downhill, it was like, oh, like this is one other style of skating that can keep the other styles of skating that I do kind of fresh. So bouncing around a bit was really fun, having friends at the skate park, having friends at the hill. Um, Never really got into like long distance pushing or anything like that. It just was like, oh, like if there's a sesh at the hill, I would go. If there's a sesh at the park, I would go. Um, yeah, and I did have some friends who were like, heavy into the like dancing thing, and I'm like, God, no, like I just want to skate and like destroy wheels or destroy my skateboard if possible. Um, but Yeah, the crew, man, it's kind of wild to think about. Um, I had a crew of homies that I filmed street skating with in California where I grew up, and then when I moved to Oregon, I started seeing photos on Facebook of them bombing hills, and I was like so confused. I was like, oh, I thought like no, like I thought that you guys would never get into something like that. And then I just kept kind of like seeing them posting photos and videos of them and honestly skating in Laguna, um, like 2010 time period. Um, and I was like really intrigued. So I ended up getting like a downhill division board. I think I had Paris like 195s and like big zigs. And that was like the speed board that I had a helmet. And I was like just walking myself up like random little straight hill bombs that I would find and being like, is this thing safe? And it was sick. It was like pretty quickly I was like, oh man, like this top mount downhill division board didn't really want to like go sideways as easily as like I was seeing some other people with the drop setup. And so I met, I think like dude Kyle Quast. He like loaned me an old board that he had. It was like a Quebec Jim Z flush cut thing. And I set that up and was all of a sudden able to drift like every direction stand up because it was like this is just way easier. Um, and then that led down a road of like kind of having that board and having the confidence, like practicing power slides and like learning some switch slides and stuff. Um, Me and the homie David, um, we started going to these events, like traveling from Medford to Portland, like 4 hours away, and yeah, there was like some slope style events and like some funny events like where like the whole road was wet and yeah, PDX Downhill's like YouTube channel has like a bunch of old footage by this guy Adam Stolte who had a really like artistic way of filming. But yeah, some of those first events, those were like introductions to Casey and JP, and then eventually, you know, what became like the skate bus crew.
Yeah, so you were at this point like already pretty good at park skating now.
Yeah, I grew up street skating and park skating like my whole life. Um, had like good familiarity with like board control, um, but I liked going fast. So at some point, you're kind of like you see people standing on like what looks like a skateboard going fast, and you're like, I want to do that. Like that looks super fun. Yeah, like started skating bigger and bigger wheels at the skate parks in Oregon because they were faster, the transitions were bigger, and at some point it just kind of like occurred to me. It was like, oh, you know, I had never really skated soft wheels until I like moved to Oregon, and I'd been skating already since I was like 3 years old. So that was quite an amount of time, honestly. Yeah, this was a super fun video to make. We thought we were gonna come up on $500 for sure.
You got close, right? Like, who ended up taking this one? I forget.
I think Jensen won it because his, you know, like his footage was sick as fuck. He did some cool shit. I just maybe like went a little overboard with like the like I'm gonna fucking skate every board I have access to. Like I'm borrowing like people's boards and this shit to get clips because I was like still learning, figuring out what I liked. I think that's a board I won at like a slope style thing, or like it was like in a raffle at fucking Maryhill or something. It was like a big rain board. Um,
Were you like caring about sponsors at this point? Were you like on the hunt?
yeah, actually, I think for this video or like when we were making this edit, I had support from like the local skate shop across the street from the skate park, Jack's Board House, and Tom and Rita. Those are awesome people. They were helping me out, and then they would kind of like tell me like, hey, like we'll reach out to people when we get calls from their distributors or whatever, if you want to get onto something. And yeah, like I'm skating some Volant wheels in this, and that was like on a Quebec board. Like Quebec had started sending me some stuff where they sent me like a box of boards, which was really cool. All because of that like Jim Z board I was skating. I was like, oh, these guys make the best shit. And they actually sent me that slalom board, which I'm still like, man, I wish I could get another one of those because it was like a great shape. Perfect board, honestly.
Oh, so I got a guest question from Logan, local Medford homie. He asks, were you the first one to skate a slalom board downhill?
Absolutely not. I think around this time I had like some of my first like Skate Slate magazines and stuff, and in there obviously would be footage of, or not footage, but like photos of Zach racing Mary Hill on the little board, and then even like Patrick Switzer racing the little board and stuff. So we didn't see any footage of people drifting them. But I went to my first Mary Hill probably in like 2012, and yeah, maybe even 2011. And I remember skating with my friend David one night on that board that I filmed that clip with, but I had like pink Suntraxes on the board. So it just looked really ridiculous. Like it was like way more wheel than truck. And we came up to an intersection and I had to do a shutdown because my homie in front of me slid. And I was just like, I'm going to die. Like this board doesn't slide. And I go to do like a backside pre-drift, and I just came to a perfect stop and it was totally safe. And I was like so confused because we were skating at night and it was just like, that was weird. Like, I don't feel like that should have been so safe. But then going to Maryhill later on that year, I took that board and I remember being coming into the shutdown area at Maryhill and doing little stand-up slides and eventually like doing shutdown slides on the Suntraxes and just being like, it feels really good. And people were like looking at me like, what's wrong with you, dude? Like, you're going to die. And I was like, I don't know. It feels really good. So, and I think I just had normal grip tape on that board too. It wasn't like severe, and I could never skate foot stops. So, like Randall 125s with like the 50 degree in the front and then like the DH base plate in the back, which is like 30 something.
I mean, it looked like you went back to the big board pretty quick for downhill runs. Like, was there ever like an inkling of like, oh, this is just too soon? Like, we're not ready yet.
Yeah, honestly, I thought people were like, yo, that thing looks like it looks dumb or something. And like I was like, oh yeah, like I'll just skate the board that feels, because I had gone on some trips probably by that point, with like my big board. And yeah, like sometimes like I don't remember, but I feel like I was always pretty comfy on like a 23-inch wheelbase, 22-inch. The backlash thing that I would skate, just always felt so comfortable and so safe. Like when I skated it in Yosemite, it was just like safe. And that was like the only thing that really mattered with downhill skating, was that it's like, okay, can you skate this board on anything and can you not die? Because yeah, we would skate some random stuff on skate bus trips that was like, we'd never seen the road before. And yeah, we're on a trip for like 2 weeks, so it's just important to not get injured and skate something that's dependable and reliable.
Facts. And like, were you skating that backlash kind of like for everything? Like free ride, stand up slide sessions, downhill?
Yeah, pretty much. And then when it came to taking it to the races, it was always like really funny. Is like, since it had so much of a nose and so much of a tail, I couldn't really get like super close to like when I came to like passing people because I had so much nose. So in that way, I was like, oh, I'm kind of like fucking myself over here. But I felt really comfortable on it, and I should have probably just had like one that was like chopped down. But every time I tried to chop a board, I just destroyed it, and that's where Skip comes in. I've taken a lot of skateboards and helmets and stuff to my good friend Skip, who does Turnco, and yeah, it's like still to this day, like I live super close to him, and it's super awesome to get to see that guy. Try to go check in with him at the skate shop when I can. But dude, yeah, I'm so bad at chopping boards that I think all of my old backlashes are just like they're so ugly because I destroyed them.
Maybe the skate estate's cursed for chopping because I tried to chop a board there too and did not go well.
But yeah, that garage sucked for any sort of like woodworking, anything like yeah, even the like makeshift wheel lathes and stuff we used to do. It's just like, bro, like just skate a rough road or figure it out. But like, the backlash was sick. I still like wish I could like cut up one of them into something that I would skate today because the wheelbase is like the same.
Well, if you don't mind warped backlashes, they've got a backlash 40 you can have.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Those are. I always think about asking. Like, I think like Alicia probably has a stash of them too that she doesn't do anything with.
Did you ever rock the 37?
Yeah, for a little bit. When they were telling me they were going to bring out a smaller version of it for like younger kids or people, yeah, just people who are a little bit shorter. So I got to actually go to the Sector 9 factory where Arbor boards were made. I got to put like a custom graphic on one, and yeah, still to this day I'm like, dude, I've given everything away as far as like my boards and stuff because I'd see people skating and I'd be like, oh, like you'd be stoked on this board, and yeah, prototype stuff, one-off stuff. I'm like, I didn't keep anything really. I have like a couple boards and a little stack, but other than that, it's like it sucks when you start moving, kind of frequently, and you're just like, oh, I do not want to just lug around boxes of skateboards. So
Sounds like you're infected by the circle of rice as well.
yeah, absolutely, dude. You get a box and it's like, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna like use these gloves that I need, 3 sets of wheels, but then there's like quite a few other sets of wheels in that box, and you're just like, here you go. Dude, the skate estate was really just like it was almost like the companies would send me stuff, and then I'd distribute it around the house and be like, hey, like let's go skate, and you guys have to tell me like if it's good or not, basically.
Sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, low key. When I think of like Ashland, Medford, like skate estate days, like similar vibes to North Carolina these days.
Yeah, it's really dope that like was it like Will and Chase and I don't know who else like lives at that house. Like I think like that homie Khalil's out there. Um, I'm hyped that they're like keeping that kind of dream alive because like skate houses are so hard to do. Honestly, like it's for a short period of time. Like if you need like kind of like a halfway house to travel from that's like got really cheap rent. That's that position that fills in life. It's fun, but it's just messy, and it's like yeah, it takes a certain type of youthful energy that it's like okay, if like you're working at a skate shop and you're traveling for skating, it makes sense to like live at a skate house. If that's not what you're up to, then it's like yeah, it's a bit difficult. We had like 3 couches at some point, and like some summers it would feel like every weekend every couch was taken up by a visitor, or we had like the different traveling crews, skate teams and stuff like camp out in the backyard. It was a good time.
You've got a background in racing. John Huey asks, your dad had some racing experience in motorsports. How did that kind of inspire you or drive the way you approached riding?
That's sick, thanks John. Yeah, like so like my dad is like a multi-time motocross champion in South Africa. When he came to the States, he started working for Toyota Racing Development on the Baja 1000 race, like the trophy trucks that they would race, and then worked on some IndyCar racing teams, and then eventually on a 24-hour Le Mans racing team for Celine. Just recently, like saw some like awesome photos of my dad with the race teams. But yeah, he wanted me to race motocross. And so living in Southern California, we lived around a lot of tracks. I got into racing, kind of like amateur racing on the little 85 cc's, like the two strokes back in the day, which was fun, but it was really intimidating. And I honestly just was way more obsessed with skating. But never, the funnest thing about the bike was that you could go flat out and you're always wearing like all the gear, like the boots and the gloves and the helmet. You would just be like, oh, I could go as fast as I want, yard sale, and I would be fine. So I kind of learned that at a young age and had a lot of really unfortunate crashes riding the bike. I got put on a much bigger motorcycle at such a young age. Like I was riding a 450 when I was like 13, and that was just because I had already kind of moved past the 250 as far as like what my dad saw in me, and the 450 got me out of riding because it was just like a scary machine. And over the years, like progressing with skateboarding and like doing a bit of street skating and a bit of filming and that, when I heard that people were racing skateboards, I was like, that's probably the most fun thing ever. Because, you know, there's like border cross for snowboarding and slalom and stuff. And you see that and you're like, that's pretty high speed. Like, that must be really fun. But never saw anything like that for skating. So, pretty cool to discover that only because of like moving to Oregon and yeah, just getting exposed to what the racing scene was like up here. Really gotta like, yeah, honestly, like thanks to like people like John Huey and Casey, and so many others. Honestly, like it's hard to like thank everybody for keeping that thing alive because it's like, oh yeah, it's just like super fun and a great way to like get people together. Honestly, because like getting people together at like a motocross race when I was a kid always felt like, okay, like it's me and my dad and we got to go like kill people basically on the track. You know, with speed and like just always felt like a battle and it felt like really intimidating. But then the downhill events, the racing even, it's always super inviting and always like, oh hey, what's up? Like, I hope we don't die in this race heat. Like, let's just keep it together. So I like that camaraderie more so in skateboarding because yeah, motocross is very very individual, very like yeah, people have serious attitudes. It's like probably why I never got into surfing. I was like, oh dude, I like the surfing attitudes. Okay, yeah, and this is an important thing too. So like my dad, my whole childhood, my dad and I have three brothers that are all born in South Africa. At like my brother's house and at our house, we always had a steering wheel set up and like we would play like my favorite game is like Dirt Rally, the old dirt, and you'd just run times on hill climbs or rally stages basically. And so Connor was like also kind of into the sim stuff back in the day. So yeah, like we just had fun racing. Our whole skate estate posse, like I think at one or two of the years we all had go-kart track memberships. So we would all just like try to like treat it as like super fun and competitive in that sense, but also like, hey, this might be helpful if we go to a downhill race, whatever. But yeah, like so funny how many, you know, like rainy days or whatever we'd spend smoking weed and like hanging out in the garage, driving the sim. And like even still to this day, I'm like, dude, I still love driving games. They're the best. They're way too much fun.
Yeah, there's when I was like broke off, a bunch of people were like recommending, dude, you got to get into driving sims. It's just like downhill.
It's the best. It's the best for like giving yourself like, okay, like that's why I like that thing so much is because just like, yeah, picking up a bunch of speed and chucking it sideways into a corner. It's like, that's what's super fun to me about downhill skating is just like you're like, am I at terminal velocity for this hill right now? Like, is it time? And then you just try to like, hit good lines. I think that's the funnest challenge about downhill skating, honestly.
When you started off racing from the beginning and kind of getting better and racing more and more, like how'd you do?
Yeah, no, I did pretty well, honestly. Like, it's kind of funny to think about. Like shit. I had a lot more races go really well than they did go really bad. I had a really good kick. It seemed like I could always kind of lead from the front, and then if somebody had more body mass than me, or they were just faster, they could catch me. But I would typically just like lead from the front, off the starts, and just pray. Honestly, it's like the worst tactic in racing, honestly, ever, to start out front and just be like, I hope this stays like this, because still racing Mary Hill after however many years, and it's just like, dude, you're gonna have to like learn how to like sandbag at some point, because honestly, it's like, this probably comes from the motocross, is like, I don't trust people. Like, if they explode in front of me and then I have to deal with it, then like, I put myself in that situation to be in the back. So it's like, no, for my own safety, I'm gonna go and start out front, and then if they catch me, they catch me. This is kind of how it goes. I used to just always wish that all the tracks were what they look like today, because it's like, okay, you have to be technically good at drifting and holding good lines. It's not just like, you could be like 20, 30 pounds heavier than me and smoke me. Because yeah, I used to just hear this kind of shit at Mary Hill all the time, like, yeah, bro, you gotta bulk up, or you need like nicer leathers, and it's like, no, like, I just want to go faster. I don't care like the aerodynamics, but whatever you gotta do. It's like, it's funny how I see like the leathers kids are racing in these days, and I'm just like, those are not gonna save you. But I get it. It's like any little thing helps. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, I want to get a new suit, but I'm also like, I'm basically just like paying for a pair of pajamas. But it'd be nice to have a new suit. I got my suit repaired by Kelsey, and I guess it was like the last thing that Kelsey has done over at NJK, because his health's in not good shape. But like, huge thanks to that dude for supporting downhill skating for, like, I feel like the time that he's been making the Diablo, and like when that was introduced, it was like, yo, we have like a suit specific for skating downhill. And yeah, I recently got my suit. Basically, the whole front end of it is just Kevlar. There's no leather anymore, so it's like, it feels great. But I'd also like to have the secondary suit. The maneuverability is super important, because if you can't move in a crash, then you're kind of screwed. But also, it's like, you only really fall in certain areas. So, I think maybe if you get like one of these like really flimsy suits that people are running, you just wear some G forms underneath, like, you're probably good, or like G forms and crash underwear. Um, I do think the soft back protector is still like a really good idea. Um, but yeah, kids are all like super crazy about the aero these days. It's pretty funny to watch, honestly. Like, everybody has to race in like a helmet that's just gonna like sever your collarbone. I don't know about that, honestly.
Let's get back kind of into you and the crew and how you were traveling around a little bit, like riding some pretty gnarly hills and also keeping it super tight. Like, can you tell us about your, when did you start kind of journeying out and looking for spots with your crew and the squad?
Yeah, honestly, John Meadows and Connor were like very, very keen on going to skate anything that was like really steep and required a lot of slides. And then Connor was just like, he told me about like how he was finding some of these roads, and I was like, dude, that's super cool. But like, you know, some of the stuff we he'd find roads, and we'd go out there, we'd drive like 2 or 3 hours to go check out something, and it'd be like, we can't skate this because it's too gnarly, and we would never make it anywhere in time if we got injured. So some of the missions were cool, like this road. Somehow every time we went out to this road, something horrible fucking happened. Okay, yeah, the rusty guardrail. We were coming down through that corner, and in like a line of four of us, and we're all holding really tight to the guardrail. And oncoming, like a ranger or like a state trooper's truck is like very far into our lane, and he just locks up the brakes. But since we were also inside, it was fine. But it turned out that there was like a manhunt going on for an escaped prisoner from the Klamath Falls um, facility there, and they were like searching for this dude out there. Another time, I did like a 45-mile-an-hour Scorpion, and it was just like, okay, we're not going back there. Like that place sucks.
I think this is where I first saw you skating. So I wasn't really too aware of your racing. Um, but this slope style shit, like, tell
Yeah,
me.
watercraft.
Yeah, the slope style stuff just came about through hanging out with Carmen and Alicia and David. Um, and then honestly meeting JP too early on, JP, John, Casey, and Skip. Um, they made it so much fun to like go to these things, but I would show up like a day before to help, or like a couple days before to help build these ramps and stuff, and then set them up on the hill just to like pay the registration or whatever. I'd like be like, oh, I can help out, and I've like built some ramps. So it's just kind of like fun to like experiment with those dudes, and I guess Ross too. Ross put on these Boomtown events, and those were in Eugene, so those were like kind of closer. Carmen was good friends with Ethan and Ross and Alec, and that's how like Oregon just had like these little pockets of crews that were like awesome to go skate with, but then everybody wanted to put on their own little event. Like I remember just a certain time period where everybody was wanting to put on something to get people from out of town to come to the skate event, and we would get like a crazy amount of people to come to just little pop-up things, little outlaw races, little slope styles, slide jams. And it's just like a fun time to hang. Like I remember smoking so much weed and like hanging out with so many people that it was just like, oh, it's just like a party on a hill, and somehow we're getting away with it every time. It was so fun.
Where you kind of experience that same thing at skate parks. It's like if someone starts killing it, the energy starts getting higher and higher, and you're like, oh shit, like what's gonna fucking go down next?
Yeah, maybe a little bit different though, because like you could take a small slam on a hill and you just got like a ridiculous amount of road rash. You take a small slam at the skate park, you're like, oh, like whatever, like it's fine. But yeah, straight like blood brothers and sisters, like people who like bomb hills are definitely on like a different wavelength of like what they're willing to take for the sake of like the adrenaline rush. Um, Man, I used to just I super numb to like seeing people covered in road rash just from back in the day. Like, oh, that dude just lost his whole everything in their hip. It's like is what it is. Did you help, or is this all like Jordan? Or did you film any of this stuff?
No, this one was the year before my first calf lamet.
Oh, okay, word. Yeah, this was man, like Calf Lama was just such a fun event. Seemed like pretty much from Southern Oregon to Eugene to Portland, all of those crews always would make the mission up to Calf Lamet. And then same like seeing Michael Carson, like that dude is like one of my favorites. He was so good and was such a nice dude. Oh man, super cruster. Um,
He ripped, dude. He was like an ATV too.
yeah, so good. I love seeing him at all the events. Like Michael Carson is a G. Jackson and Camden. It's
Yeah,
like,
dude.
so
Camden. Oh my God.
I still randomly like I'll see Camden at this like skate park occasionally, like super randomly. He's like so good at skating.
Yeah. Dude, him and his brother like came out of retirement and came to a couple of our events when I was living in Portland, and I didn't see him do any like 900s or whatever, but still killing it. So much style.
Yeah, yeah, they were awesome. Yeah, it's like, dude, I've ran into like Martine and Harrison, like random places around Portland. It's like so good to see them. And that's the thing, dude. It's like seeing these events like support a community, and then it like it felt like a growing community because you're like, oh, there's like young kids getting into it. There's like older dudes that are into it. It just seemed like a really like productive thing for the community that we had going on. So all thanks to that dude for sure. JP was like pretty keen on being a community builder and a space maker. And I think like I see that now that I'm like, okay, I'm like about to turn 32, and I'm like, man, like thanks to these dudes for going out of their way to like put something on or get people together. Like Casey with the bus is just like I'm like now I'm like fuck, I gotta get a bus. Like so
Yeah, all these years later, and we're still like so close of friends. It's like that shit wouldn't even be a thing if it wasn't for those dudes.
right. Yeah, I was sick, dude. Rob Dirk. Like I got to we did a switchbacks race. I don't remember how long ago it was. Um but it's like so fucking funny that like you go into a switchbacks race like doesn't feel much different than what it felt like back in the day. Only the old switchbacks races that uh JP used to put on, like they used to be like a theme like board swap race or 8-person heats, or something. Like he would just do some crazy shit and it was a lot of fun. Um yeah, a lot of like meeting awesome people. Yeah, I guess I gotta shout out Noah Throckmorton too. That dude, um, super fun to skate with, and like skating like switchbacks, you'd learn how to like skate really close to people at like a lower speed, but then you like learn really quickly. You're like, that dude is reliable. Like I can depend on that guy. And people like Noah and Connor, Casey, it's like those are people that I can like skate pretty close to and feel like okay, like we got this. Even um, Chip and Alec, like those are the homies that we've been like skating a little bit more these last couple of years, and it's been really sick. I think like this like last year I've been trying to like get people more psyched on it, and like dude, yeah, there was a couple little sessions that we had where I like look over, I'm like, damn, like JP, Chip, Casey, Alec, and myself were all skating a hill, and it's like, dude, fuck, like when the fuck did we all like start doing this shit? Because it's got to be like for those dudes even like a bit longer than when I obviously was like a bit younger when I than all those dudes when I started. So yeah, it's just like cool that you can still kind of get people together. Obviously, everybody's got like jobs and obligations and shit, but at the end of the day, skateboarding is like fucking awesome exercise. And yeah, you see your homies like working desk jobs and shit, and you're just like, yo, you guys gotta like get the fuck over here and like come hike up this hill or like skate the park, whatever. Yeah, I've been skating Burnside a bit more just because it's like, dude, it's dry and it's lit up at night. So
Once you started traveling like abroad with the PDX crew and stuff, like that must have kind of changed the speed of things a little bit. Like you have been quoted by someone saying that you have the most miles on skate bus.
oh yeah, for sure. I think I've like went on like the most trips and definitely had like a travel budget through Arbor. And dude, huge thanks to those dudes because anytime I ever asked like, yo, could you guys like pay Casey for the gas money to go on this trip? It was always a yes. I like never got told no, and it was just like wildly convenient. Honestly, is like you know, they would be Casey would drive by Medford from Portland on his way to Cowtown or on his way to, like, there was like a Menlo Park slide jam. That was like one of the first trips that we went on. And it was like, from there, I was like, I want to do this like as much as possible. And honestly, like, kind of formed a lot of shit around that. Like I'm not going to like have a real job because I want to just go on trips. And so I do little like side hustles or side gigs when I was in town, but for the most part, it was like pretty keen on traveling. And thankfully, that was like cool. It was like when it came time to go to Australia or go to New Zealand or go to South Africa, like those were really great trips. Even though it's like, man, you're like on the other side of the world. You realize like just having a skateboard in your hand makes you like family to like a lot of people. So it's really like strange to get all the way to like South Africa, and just people are like the nicest ever. But I also have family from there. But like, yeah, like um, I'm so happy to have like traveled as much as I did as a skateboarder, because yeah, everywhere we went, it's just like, oh shit, like extended family is everywhere, and it's the greatest thing ever. So
What were some of your favorite like skate bus trips that you went on? Like some that stand out?
oof, all of them. There's like not really like one in particular. I think of the ones where we were uh, going down to Ditch Slap and coming back up through Utah and stuff, getting to skate like rocks in national parks and stuff. These ones like down to Santa Barbara were insane. And like some of these too, like I would have like gotten like a flight um to do some other stuff for Caliber or for Arbor back then. And so I would like meet up with these guys. Like I think this might have been one of those trips where I was driving my truck and then I was like, oh, they're gonna be in Santa Barbara, so I'll like drive up there, but camping out in the truck, like living on like ECC or whatever, just waiting for the homies to come. I think like in this video, there's like a clip of me kind of at my truck with like James and Liam, but I'm like, dude, I had my truck in Santa Barbara. Like, what the fuck? Um,
One thing I think that's really interesting is that we're like, I mean, we're not like by any means like skateboard industry like affiliated, but like through like a completely divergent like force of nature, we've kind of figured out the same things that they did. Like get a van, go to a fucking sick spot with a rad crew and get footage.
yeah, I think our like style is a little bit different because honestly, like Casey is just such like a, you know, outside of the box thinker. We wouldn't just be like, we'd skate like multiple skate parks in a day, but then we're also skating mountain roads. We're also mountain passes even, and then um, dude, yeah, like skating the national parks or even just going on hikes into the slot canyons. Like all that stuff was just out of control. Like some of the best times of my life hanging out with all these dudes. Um,
Yeah, straight up time travel, dude. Like I feel like when you're on a skate trip with the homies, like 2 weeks suddenly feels like a year, and you're just, I don't know, I feel like way younger because of all these trips.
yeah, yeah, you could look at it like that, and it's just like being a road dog or whatever you want to call it. Like you
Yeah.
get comfortable, you get comfortable not being in one place too long, and I definitely have struggled with that a little bit, where I'm just like, yeah, like I can live somewhere for like 2 years max, and then I gotta like figure out a new situation or something. But yeah, huge thanks to Casey and Pat for driving all those miles, because some of these trips were just way too much fun. Obviously, like lots of road rash injuries. That whole next episode or whatever, where the orchid, like, yeah, we got introduced to a lot of people, and it's like you only in this life, like get to meet a lot of people, and I don't know, you figure things out when you're out of your comfort zone. You don't figure anything out staying put at home, or um, I feel so bad for people who like never left their hometown or something. I'm like, that's wild. Like meeting people everywhere I go, skating with people everywhere I go, and then even like nowadays, like I'm playing a lot of music. Like I've been a drummer for a long time, and you know, just like encountering different perspectives and different communities. There can never be anything like bad about that. I feel like that just only like enriches like your experience and your own perspective. So you only get to do this through these eyes one time. You may as well make it worth it and enjoy it as much as you possibly can. Because yeah, it sucks so much to like kind of bring it up when we're talking about like a bunch of cool stuff, but like man, like um, lots of like really close friends that I've grown up with, learning how to skate, or even like learning how to play music and stuff. Like, dude, I've lost so many people to like just tragic, unfortunate shit. Right at the beginning of 2025, my best friend, who's like my right hand dude that I played music with like almost every single day, fell off a roof and landed on his dome, and that was that. And uh, it's just like, dude, like you got to do what you love to do for those who can't, you know. And um, yeah, like the homie David, who is like such a light getting into downhill skating, um, unfortunately passed away several years ago. And it's just like, man, like life is short, and if you don't take advantage of yeah, the rental cars and stuff, you know, you gotta like I was so grateful like this year my girlfriend and I, we went on a trip to Puerto Vallarta, and it's just like, dude, having a passport again is like the greatest thing, because it's just like this little book that's like a motivational like, all right, like once or twice a year, like get out of the country, otherwise like yeah, probably need to do a North Carolina trip. Kind of want to go skate this like Deer Creek thing. It looks kind of sick in Malibu. It's tough, especially like the thing that we like to do is like pretty adrenaline heavy. It's pretty dangerous, but you know that's how you make like these like really important bonds with people, or at least like have an understanding of like how their brain works. Because you're like, oh fuck, like I could see how like, you know, certain people navigate the road that's in front of them, and it's like, okay, like yeah, yeah, taking care of yourself as you're doing the thing is really important, but you never know. You know, it could just be like a random accident. This homie that was really good to us when we stayed in New Zealand, Tristan, unfortunately passed away from open road skating, and it's just like, man, like that shouldn't have fucking happened. Um, and oh man, the reason I kind of like wanted to distance myself from downhill skating there for a minute was I heard about this race in Brazil where um, they failed to close the road, and a motorcyclist killed somebody that was in a race heat. And I was like, nah, dude, like that, if that kind of thing can happen, like I don't want any part of this. Like this is honestly, it's like kind of ridiculous. So I hope, you know, something like that never happens again. But inevitably, it's like shit's dangerous, and it's not the reason to like stop doing something. But maybe, you know, taking a break and like giving it some space is important. But yeah, no, it's like I don't want to see tragic shit like that, especially for people that I'm like, dude, like we all like to do this thing. That shouldn't happen.
I think that event that you're talking about in Brazil really made us pump the brakes on event like ownership, because I know in Brazil again a couple years later there was like a Teutonia race, and they shut it down halfway through because it just the event coordinators were doing a bad job and everyone noticed, so they literally didn't even do it.
Yeah, what a what a like bummer that would have been to like mission all the way out there to skate like a prestigious road and then not even be able to like run your race that you went all the way there for simply because the safety is just not there. It's like that's really important. It's like, man, if the safety's not there, it's not worth doing, no matter like what. And that's definitely not what I probably used to say in my early 20s, but it's like I have
Well,
more maturity towards all of it. I would think now, and it's like, yeah, skating closed roads is fun. It'd be cool if we had access to things like, yeah, like we used to have that like the downhill skate park in Southern Oregon, um, and just places like that that made it like, yeah, like we don't have anything to worry about. We can just focus on learning how to skate safely and properly. So
yeah, that's ideal. So with like with the way that downhill skateboarding is now, I think a lot of the people who are kind of putting things into motion have kind of been in it for so long and are also like a little on the older side. Like I feel like 28 to like 32 is like the average age of a downhill skateboarder right now. So like maybe it's good for the next generation that we kind of get our shit together and really make it safe as possible, which I think people are doing. Like Micah Green is stepping up as like the WDSC like safety coordinator, and we're not really going to events that are shoddy and sketchy anymore. And yeah, just
that's
good
really,
looks.
yeah, like people who've been in it long enough to know kind of what has happened and what needs to not happen so that people can have like good competitive racing, because it's like otherwise it's like, yeah, what do we need to do? Do we need to go to like something like mountain bike racing where it's like just individual timed runs and like that's it, like no racing? Like I don't know what they need to do to make it so that it's safe, because like from what it looks like the WDSC is doing like the best job out of the three different sanctioning bodies that I've gotten to experience. Because yeah, I've done like an IDF race, I've done like an IGSA race, or I might not have done an IGSA that might have ended like kind of red as I was starting downhill, but like the IDF, um, as far as like the Maryhill or the Whistlers that I did, it was like, yeah, that was like fun, but yeah, you just hope that the right people are like looking out for the participants, because it's really important. And if they're not, then it's like can't be like supporting that. Yeah, safety is not third any longer, honestly.
No, it's not. And on that note, we definitely on-sited a shitload of roads on skate bus.
Yeah, yeah, I think that was some of the most fun stuff. I'd see a sign out of the window of the bus, then it'd be like 10,000 feet elevation, like we're in Colorado, and it's like 2 in the morning, and I'm like, I'd like ask Casey, like, stop, like, is the road dry? And he'd be like, yeah. I'm like, okay, like, let's get out, like, let's see what this is, and then end up like on your skateboard for like 30 minutes, like super fun. But honestly, like, yeah,
Yeah,
I was notorious at like not having a headlamp. Like I have to like borrow someone's headlamp or like chase my friends who did have headlamps. Um, so that was fun, but it's also like I'm not gonna do that these days.
yeah. Being wide awake can go a long way. I remember one time we were on-setting this hill in like Utah, I think, and it was like me and Nick Califato bombing down, and like halfway through like the fastest part of the road, there's just a squad of deer standing in the middle of the road. Like, oh fuck. And like somehow threaded the needle between all the deer. And yeah, dude, I don't know. Like those those moments are just fucking sick. And I would not trade them. Even though they're sketchy, they're memorable as hell.
Yeah, I never smoked a deer, but like definitely had enough like moments where I was like going straight at one. But like, yeah, dude, props to Nick Califato. He's the one that like was like really adamant on putting on something at Switchbacks recently, and it's like he like handmade some trophies and shit. And it's like, dude, thank God, like some of the OGs still give enough of a fuck about the thing to be like, let's do something. Let's try to get people together, because that's like what it was about back then. For whatever reason, it was easier to get bigger numbers of people together in those times. But we'll take what we can get these days. You know, it's like it's sick to have a few people on the sesh. Sick to have like a little race, like even like a Nate Blackburn, I think, runs like a little path race series, or not, like it wasn't like a path race series this year, but like the year before that, there was a couple races that he put on. I did one at this one called Math Paths. That one is so sick. It felt like a really small version of like the Whistler racetrack.
Oh, nice.
I haven't even been to Slug Wars yet though, and they keep being like, "You gotta come skate this," and I'm like, "It's just a path," but I'm down because I only skate paths. And
You kind of go just for the vibe.
yeah, is it like sicker if it's wet or no?
It is definitely more fun when it's wet. You just gotta, just not take the turns as hard, and you can still have a blast just going down the whole path. You just gotta, watch out for the slugs.
That's wild. Like Seattle honestly feels like a zoo every time I'm there, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Like, so, uh,
There's a city vibe there for sure. It's like a metropolis.
Portland is not a city in comparison to Seattle, but it's probably why I still live here. It's just like, it feels like a small town, but then there's like a little bit of city over there, and there's some sick street skating honestly in Portland and Seattle. There's like crusty spots, but then like everything's so crusted that when you find something nice, you're like, wow, that's really nice. Like it's nice. The downtown spots are crusty, and then you'll have like crazy cracks in the run up to stuff, and it's like you just gotta make it work, figure it out, skate bigger wheels, do something. But it's like you have a lot of fun just trying to like make it work here. Whereas like where I grew up in California, everything was like super buttery, super easy to skate.
I do think that like living in Portland makes you kind of have to nerd out on your setup because you do have to like change wheel softness or wheel size, and then that kind of eliminates your pop, and you have to kind of adjust to make your pop work again. So you kind of just start tinkering.
That is funny because yeah, like skating Burnside a bit these days. I'm like, whoa, like I know now that they try to like repaint the park for the Burnside Halloween thing every year because it's like Burnside's birthday, but it's like the grip drastically changes from one week to the next in October every year. So it's almost like, yeah, it's cool that there's like this big party going on, but it's like don't skate Burnside until the paint's cured, because if the paint's trying to cure while there's moisture in the air, you're just skating on like a basketball court. It feels terrible. So
Also, like the thing about Burnside, it's like you can't tell if the walls are slick sometimes, and you just like wipe out whenever, like no warning at all.
yep, there's little hidden potholes and chips. It's it's a DIY spot. It's not a skate park. So I think people get a little mixed up when they're like there, and they're like, "Oh, like this is a crazy skate park." It's like it's not a skate park. Yeah, there's some funny clips in this just from like Glen Haven because Casey used to live pretty close to there. I would go there a lot. Um, but just crazy stories about Portland. Portland's just super fun, and I think it's got a really rich skateboarding history. It's cool that I think we're going to be keeping Burnside. Like they were talking about demolishing it because they need to work on the bridge. Um, so I hope it gets to stick around. And then there's supposed to be this like new Steel Bridge skate park opening up, which is really close to Burnside, but it'll be a newer style skate park, more like plaza, and there's going to be a bowl and stuff. So it's
You skating RKPs or TKPs on that shakedown?
I think I would go back and forth. Like sometimes like I would try like the little. I think honestly they probably were the reverse kingpins, just because I thought like that short of a wheelbase was hard to slide without the reverse kingpin trucks, even though it's just like, no, dude, it's just, you need a good technique. Otherwise you're not going to like get it sideways. That was, dude, all this footage in this video is so random. Like, I don't even know. Like,
How long did it take you to film this, and like how did this project kind of open up to you?
dude, this was like a 3-day thing. It was kind of wild. Like, me and Jack Boston drove. He picked me up in Medford. We drove to Portland, and on the way, I hit a couple things in Eugene. Got a couple clips up here. But this was like a very short amount of time for filming. And man, there's like this super crazy story leading up to this. I dislocated my shoulder, and I could tell that something was wrong with it. Like, there was a nerve pinched, and I was like not stoked. And the night before Jack came to pick me up to go film this mission or whatever, I like wake up on the couch, and I swear to God, I opened my eyes, but I just like saw like white everywhere, and my shoulder was out. And then I like put it back in, and I unpinched the nerve, and I was like so stoked that I just passed the fuck back out. And I swear to God, when I woke up, it was like my shoulder was like so much better, even though it was like it has that like stretched ligament feeling that doesn't go away for a few days. But like,
Yeah.
I was so hyped that I got the nerve unpinched that I was like, dude, let's film this, whatever the fuck we're gonna do. I had no idea. Like, I had no idea that this was gonna be like a big part or anything. I just was like, yeah, let's go get some clips. Like, it's gonna be fun. And skated a couple random roads. Skated a road that Alec had introduced me to. And that's like the last clip in that video. It used to be like one of the fastest things that we knew about, and it's like, it's not that fast, but it was fun filming with Jack. Jack's like an awesome dude, and like had a really awesome eye for shots because he came from surfing filming, and I don't know if he did a little bit of snowboard filming too, but yeah, fun to work with. He was always down to like abuse his Subaru for the sake of the clip. So
So we got a guest question from Casey.
hell yeah.
He wants to know, do you have any memorable 360 flip battles?
Yeah, probably the Menlo Park slide jam mini mega ramp thing. I ended up trying a tray flip over this like downhill kicker to like a roller landing that had a gap in it for hours, and eventually just caught one, and it felt like an ollie when it hit my feet, and I was like, wow, I'm just taking this home. And that was like one of the best ones I've done. I've had a tray flip on like a 9 stair when I was like a bit younger, and yeah, other than those two, I'm like, man, there's probably some other ones, but I'm trying to think. Like, yeah, there's like a funny one like in like some little Arbor product video that I tray flipped the backlash like the 40, and that only took me like 2 or 3 tries because I was like, oh, like kind of same thing like uh, Jack Boston was like, I don't know, as just being a younger kid, I was like, oh, it's like intimidating being like filming with somebody and having to be like, oh, like I don't want to like take up too much of their time on this one thing. So you try to get stuff kind of quickly and be out of there. Try not to get kicked out. But yeah, tray flipping all sorts of boards. I think that's the funniest shit ever. Like, people like look at a certain style of a skateboard and they're like, that thing only, it hardly rolls. And you're like, I'm sure you could tray flip it. You know, you could pretty much tray flip a piece of cardboard if you had to. I don't know. Like, some of those Menlo jams were so exciting. Like, getting to meet like people like Cliff Coleman or you know, like Bonzing and like fucking Big Dave for the first time. Like, some legends would show up to those Menlo jams, and so very, very like good high energy Super fun. And like the ramps on the hill, I remember like how much they bummed certain people out because they like literally just came there to do power slides. And it's like, yeah, power slides are super sick, but there's jumps. Like, fuck with them. Like, hit the ramps. And if you don't want to hit the ramps, that's all good. But like, I think a jump on a hill, it's like, dude, like even just going snowboarding where like you jump down a mountain and you can't see your landing, like as you're going off the takeoff, like that's fucking terrifying. Like, so I understand when people are like, oh, like they don't want to hit it, but um, yeah, some of those like calf laminates and stuff where we had just options, like if you wanted to take a faster line to hit the bigger gap, that's just like the fate you chose. So some of those things were just super fun, but also like, yeah, I think of like the border cross racing as like super memorable because it evolved out of the slope style that we were doing because we had all the ramps already and we were just like, you guys think we should like race on these things? Like, so dude, that might have been him in the lead with the orange helmet. Well,
There's so much carnage in this video.
yeah, yeah, dude. I was not here this year, but it's funny to see like it went from the Robin versus Louis.
Robin, dude. Robin will kill you and not give a fuck if it's on a skateboard.
Really bad slam. Like that dude just like put himself to sleep. Yeah, like looking back on some of the stuff, you're like, dude, who would actually participate in this? This is fucking crazy.
There were a couple other like more core skateboarding like events that were kind of like had to take on border cross. Like I know Mountain Dew Tour had one in San Francisco, and there were a couple more. Like, did y'all get inspired by that stuff, or was that like kind of like came out about the same time?
Dude, actually, no. Like we were very like caught up in in our own thing. Like I think me and Ross Truckery, um, and probably a few other people like Jaden, um, like we're all just like, oh, like how do we fuse all of the things? Because, dude, at the end of the day, I had like the craziest epiphany about skateboarding as a whole recently, and it's like, like in school, it's like, okay, like skateboarders were not like the people who played like team sports, and it's like it feels like in school there's like two types of people. It's like you do that or you do this, and it's like one is the athletic sports people, and then the other is like the nerds and like the people who are like caring about academics and stuff. And it's like I think like skateboarders are pretty fucking nerdy. Like we like drawing radiuses for ramps and being like looking at a spot and being like, do you think this will work? Like, does the math work on this spot?
It's a fucking art, dude.
Yeah, it's an art and it's math. It's like it's it's very technical. And as much as like some people like with their skating don't want to admit that they love that part about it. It's like that's one of the fun things about it is that you get to use your fucking brain and calculate like, okay, if I'm going into this corner, how fast can I go max? Like, or like there, like I did a heel side stand up slide and then went hands down because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna kind of putt through this and keep it mellow. Um, and still, like it's just funny how skateboarding is a bit more technical than just like chucking a football or whatever. And this stuff, it's like, man, I think maybe for some people it looked like fun from the outside, but then if you actually get on the track, you're like, it's pretty fucking dangerous. Um, we probably could have had better features and better spots, but like for the most part, it's like we were just trying to make do with like the ramps that we did have or like the ramps that we knew how to build. I remember like a couple times like Sidewalk Showdown or like other little like NAR slalom events and stuff, and just being like, yo, you guys, like we cannot use this feature because it's just gonna injure people. Like they're gonna fucking hate us. So, but yeah, this year where the ramp was like longer on the outside line was epic because like people could like make up time or just send it further, but you had to take like a wider, faster line.
I definitely have a few questions for Mr. Brandon. So your name has definitely come up amongst one of the greats over there on the West Coast. I've also been watching, seen a lot of your videos, but one particular video that I am genuinely curious about because I'm such a big fan of this skateboard movie, Grade, the skateboard movie Grade. You, sir, definitely had a part in that movie. Big fan. Especially that trailer. Gosh, that trailer was so good. Did you, with your part in that movie, did you guys only film in Australia for your part, or were there some parts on the West Coast where you were like on set or just hanging with the boys?
Yeah, so I got a call one day that was like, "Hey man, like if you wanted to go anywhere in the world to film, where would you want to go?" And I was like, "Fuck, that's a pretty wild question," but I just was like Australia, like pretty quickly. That was like what I answered, and yeah, Max Myers, the used to be the team manager for Arbor. Just hooked it up so fat. Like that dude took such good care of me, and same with like Bob, the owner of Arbor. Like awesome people for just kind of like hooking it up and wanting me to, yeah, do what I thought would be good for like my skating. And yeah, so I ended up going on a trip to Australia for like a little over 2 weeks. That would have been like my second trip out there because of Arbor, um, to film for this video. And yeah, it was just super epic. I would have loved like maybe just since it was like a full feature film, like to like spend like a year or two filming in different locations and doing whatever. But as far as I knew, I was like just gonna make the most out of it and try to like stack some clips that are unique to like my style of skating, because at the time like I was like not super into like free riding, or honestly like yeah, like I just wanted to pin it. Like I just wanted to like see how fast like I could skate a road. Um, and I think that's like kind of like a majority of the clips that I got for the video. There was other sections in grade where like kind of free ride seshing some spots, and yeah, those were like fun to get those clips like doing stand up slides. But um, at some point it's just like yeah, like pushing it, like pushing grip lines, or just like honestly just staying on square lip wheels, was the thing that I started to realize like that's like what I like about this. Um, so yeah. Thanks for being stoked on grade, because yeah, it was like some work we put in, but would have been cool to like yeah spend a little bit more time. But it is what it is, and like we did like a premiere tour for it up and down the West Coast. Like we went to like 4 different shops between like Portland, Santa Cruz, and Venice, and I want to say one more. I don't remember. Oh yeah, like Skate.
Yeah, I remember that being a whole thing that, right before it got released on the internet that you guys, you, James, Liam, and I think Towel, uh, you guys all did a little press tour for it.
It was sick. I think that was at a time we had like the skate bus up here, and then the sliders bus, and we may have like Big Dave might have driven us um, pretty much that whole trip. Like, dude, props to Big Dave, Pat, and Casey. Like, those dudes are awesome. Kept us alive on such long trips. But like, getting to do like a premiere tour for a longboard video, I'm like, I don't know if they've really done something like that. Like, I don't know um, what other companies have like really done anything of that scale.
The only thing I can think of is Lanyards did something similar when they made the movie Get in the Van 2.
The I thought those were always like YouTube series, but those were like actual videos.
Well, the Get in the Van, like the first one was like more of like, yeah, like you said, a series, but then Get in the Van 2, that was just one whole movie itself where, you know, each team rider got their own part, but it was all one big movie.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's a good movie. You should definitely watch it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's super sick, especially like Nick Hurley's part. He's got like the big drop deck sliding over stupid shit.
Okay, yeah, I might have watched that because, dude, honestly, I used to be such like a skate video nerd, and then like these days, I'm like, man, if I like make time for watching anything, it's just like a little bit of like motocross racing, or like, you know, sometimes I'll watch racing on the weekend, but don't really like watch a whole lot of skating. And then yeah, back then it was like, oh fuck, like we're filming and needing to go film stuff, so it's like kind of hard to keep up. But that's sick that, you know, like it's just like, man, like brands like Loaded or like Rain and stuff. It's like those brands probably had budgets to do some cool shit and they never did. And it's like we probably, I don't know, like producing like quality media um in downhill skating. It's like it's hard to do and it's dangerous. So it's like, yeah, huge props to like James, Liam, Towel, I think Jordan, uh, and yeah, Jack Boston, and like Dustin Dameron was like the photographer. Like just a bunch of legends that were super helpful in like keeping that thing alive. Because yeah, it had like, I feel like Great had like a cool aesthetic. Jack's editing style was like really sick.
Oh yeah, he's definitely known as one of the best in the industry.
Yeah, dude. One time we were filming with Jack for some pack mentality thing, um, and we get back to like an in and out, like out of the hills. Like we're like 80 miles away from where we were just filming, and he's like, "Man, my wheel feels like super weird." So I like take like the T bar to his lug nuts, and I just start breaking them off, and I snapped like all of the lugs, or all of the fuck, what is it called? The studs. Snapped all the studs on like both of his rear end wheels, and it was just like, bro, we were just filming with that car like for like days. Like that is wild. My favorite dude, the Bruce. Yeah, thanks to Nick Ronzani for all the awesome memories skating. That dude's very dependable to skate with. Tommy bro, and then this dude, the greatest of all time at
Goaty.
everything. Yeah, Chubbs is the best.
So who planned this trip and who kind of picked the crew to make this video?
Yeah, I have no idea. Like I remember, um, you know, maybe this was like Nick, because like I feel like this is like Nick's kind of zone, or he like knew about Mosquito and Mount Washington. Um, but yeah, like just doing a sick camping trip out here to film these roads. I remember just being like, oh man, super stoked on some of these runs. So much like we went back here later for a different blood orange thing, and I was trying out like this like new like high ground board that Arbor was making, and it was pretty scary, honestly. It like didn't like the, yeah, Tomio just going out. Or maybe that was Nick.
He did.
Yeah, it's funny skating these like Volant wheels back then. I feel like they were super good, dude. Is that like Blake Smith? Blake Smith used to like take really good care of us, took us on some really cool trips.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Volant was an era, dude. So many cool videos came out of Blake's mind, and the trips and the wheels were sick. It was awesome times.
Yeah, fucking getting to getting to like meet all these dudes, and like, oh fuck, I think Nick just lost like a puck or something, and then like we're like skating down the rest of this run, like he just needed to change pucks. There's only one like left hand slide, but yeah, dude, Volant, honestly, like those wheels were like kind of buttery. they worked really good on like a lot of different types of pavement. And it's just like,
I heard they weren't the best for racing, but I heard they were great for free riding.
yeah, absolutely not. But it's like when you're just doing like, little local outlaw races, like for me in the beginning, it was like, these things are good enough. And they were like 82A. So they're like, yeah, like they would kick out,
Definitely meant for fun.
if you were racing on like freshies and you need to kick out a first drift, is like, at least they're hard. And like, it was like safe in that sense. But yeah.
Some of the first wheels I actually did downhill on, like this kind of stuff.
Curry, did you ever go out to like this road Mosquito?
No, I didn't. I've still not gotten to go, but I hear good things, and I hear the backside is fucked.
I don't think we ever skated the backside. Um, but pretty hectic.
I'd love to, though. I'd love to. It looks amazing.
Really high consequences on this road. Like there's like no guardrail and just like the edge of the world. So beautiful for shooting. And I think Nick and maybe Tomio had been skating out there for a while, but it's like, it's not like the most hectic run, but you're just like, yeah, like looking at this severe cliff off to the right hand side.
Yeah, shout out California Highway District.
And they made some really cool roads. But man, so fun getting to skate with Nick. I like really want to just do a trip to San Diego and go say what's up to the dude. I think he's been down there for a minute.
Oh, he's in San Diego now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's been living there for a while. So
I would love to get him on the podcast. Hear what he's been up to.
dude, yeah, he's been getting him some pool coping on the regs. So like definitely hit him up, see what he's up to. We missed the Bruce. All the Bruces out there.
If you're a Bruce, let's do a Bruce tour again.
Bring him back.
I had to send Nick something recently, and it was like, there's a kid skating the Tampa Am, and his name was Bruce de Brucer, and he's from like the Netherlands. And I was like, dude, what?
That man is just greatness.
It's amazing that whenever the word Bruce comes up, it's just immediately all that shit just comes in my brain.
Yeah, for real. Like anytime, dude.
What kind of was your favorite sliders bus memory? That's a guest question from Byron.
Wow, thanks, Byroni. Oh, dude, this time Sliders Bus was on Orcas Island, and we're like all chilling on this lakefront, and fuck, dude, some guy comes up to us, and he's just like, "Hey, like, you guys look like you're having a good time. Like, do you want this whole like jar of weed?" And it was just like a big jar. It was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" And Corey Hirschman, or Little Creek, Corey Hirschman had like foot-long papers, and so like we go into the Sliders Bus, and Corey just dumps out the whole jar of weed, and he starts making this like spliff that's gonna be like a fucking bazooka. And we take it, like, I think he made two. He made like one that was just like straight weed, and then one that was like a spliff. And we take it back to like this lakefront area that we were chilling at, and we fucking just start blazing with the dude that hooked us up with the weed. And then just like random people start coming from like every direction, like, "Oh my god, is that weed? Like, I haven't smoked weed in years." And like this old lady like hits the joint, and like we were just having a fucking awesome time. But it was like super funny, like just so many things like that, like at the campgrounds at Giant's Head and stuff. Just the bus shenanigans, people shooting fireworks and shit, like really awesome times. And then I also honestly just too, like, yeah, massively appreciate like people like Chubbs and Big Dave for like holding it down, taking care of us, and like just making it like, an awesome ride everywhere we went. Yeah, some of the fucking shenanigans though is just like super funny to think back on. It's like, damn, like we got away with a lot of shit hopping in those buses, and then yeah, just like hearing important chats of wisdom from either Big Dave or Pat or Casey. Like those were some like really formative times. Just like, dude, I remember getting like sat down and being like, yo man, you gotta chill, and just like learning how to like kind of compose myself and like not, yeah, just not be such like an angry little kid. um Whatever, like yeah, some of those trips you're like spending a lot of it like either like, yeah, injured or uncomfortable or like getting sick, man. Like I used to get sick quite a lot, and honestly I realize now it's just like it was just like kind of like stressing out about whether it was like the competition or whatever it was we were there to do. um but yeah, thanks to like the team managers at the time, and like even just like the good homies who were like, hey man, like are you okay, like what do you need like help with, and it's like, fuck dude, like awesome friends, honestly, awesome times.
Yeah, it sounds like they were definitely looking out for you guys on that bus.
Yeah, dude, fuck, so wild. Like sometimes like I remember some of the skate bus trips, like people getting so uncomfortable that they'd have to like catch up home early, like or whatever, like yeah, or like getting sick, like fuck dude, I remember I got sick in Idaho actually at the Rhodes Park, and I thought for sure I was like, I don't know dude, I might have to go to the ER, but it was like just tough it out, like we're almost home kind of thing. um yeah, people getting like massively injured. I remember Alec turning his collarbone into dust one time, literally like we're like an hour away from home after like a 2-week trip, and then just dusted. So
Coming back from Cathlamet my first time, we saved skating the Lincoln City Snake Run for on the way back because we knew we were gonna die there. Me and my homie were just doing a party wave through the big bowl, and legs just gave out, and just big homie just crushed me, broken collarbone. Luckily, the sliders bus was like right there, so they could get me back to San Francisco. And yeah, you gotta. I think luckily I'm past that point now. Like I know how to pace myself more, so I'm not just gonna like run it to the wheels fall off. But still, it's like, yeah, you've definitely been there.
yeah, just learning how to like pace yourself on some of those trips was like massively important. Yeah, I remember like it being like day 2 on a skate bus trip, and just wanting to like skate for like 6 hours, 7 hours straight, and then just like and then like Casey's driving us to like Cowtown afterwards, and you're like, oh, like we got to like actually like have some brain power to handle what comes next, because there's just so much going on, and it was just a lot of fun. But yeah, I think that was really helpful for when started to like kind of go overseas for trips, and being able to skate everything that I was like, oh okay, like lots of spots and stuff.
We got a guest question here.
Tissen, what's up, dude? I got a question for you. How disappointed in me were you when we were rallying that rental car at Hot Heels and we rooster-tailed that local uncle out and he turned around to chew us out? Bad look.
I thought he was talking about the other rental car issue that we had there in South Africa, but oh man, dude, Chubbs is the best, and like honestly kept it together the best in like all those situations. Like, I think he like even told me he straight up almost got kidnapped by a taxi driver there. Like South Africa is kind of hectic, but people treated us there like family, and they were so nice. Awesome people. Um, but no, dude, like never disappointed in Chubbs, honestly, because he just always like held it down and took care of business, and was like honestly like a great um yeah, example for what like, being like professional at like what he's doing, because he's always like kept it really cool when it came to like situations that was like, okay, like don't freak out, like gotta just kind of handle this and like either get the fuck off this dude's property or whatever we got to do right now. But like we're gonna handle this. Um, yeah, Chubbs is a fucking legend. I wish I got to see that dude more.
But what was he talking about with the rooster tailing the car in front of the guy or something like that?
Well, dude, there's like a couple different things. The one that I'm thinking about is like we pulled up to like a driveway because we were like looking for roads, and we pulled up to this one road, and they literally had like some like doll, not like a doll, like somebody with like, oh dude, I don't know how, it was so hectic. Like somebody was like hanging on a noose, and we were like, well, fuck, we definitely don't want to come like any further up this road. And I don't know if we like saw people or what, but like we just like whipped around and got the fuck out of there. But it was kind of like, yeah, desperate times. We are just like hunting for roads to try to skate and like get some clips because there actually wasn't like a whole lot to skate out there outside of the race that we were there for. Um, but pretty sick. Like, yeah, me and Liam got to skate these roads, and this was like one of my favorite roads I ever got to skate. Honestly, it just was like a whoop section in a roadway, and it was super super sick. Yeah, like I think Liam skates the road that they, I don't know if it wasn't like the gravity games, but it was like, yeah, like hot heels. No, like I don't remember what they called it. Like there used to be like a big, this was the like a downhill racetrack in like the early 2000s where like Chris Chappett raced and Mike Zietzman, like back in the day, like people racing on like flywheels and shit. But
Yeah, it's cool they brought it back. Like, I think I heard about it happening like pretty often because I don't know if you listen to like the Venom Skate podcast, but a lot of those old head dudes that Zach interviews, they talk about hot heels in their interviews.
yeah, I mean that's what we were there for. We were there for hot heels, and um, fuck, dude, the track was so boring, but like so beautiful that it was like it kind of balanced itself out. Um, but the track, it was like, dude, unless you're, um, yeah, a little bit beefier, like you're not going very fast. So uh, it was more just like a really really good time partying with those kids down there. It was ridiculously fun. The wheelbase thing, Blake at Volant, having,
This squad, dude.
yeah, yeah, I pretty much died on this trip. That was pretty rough. We all actually probably died except for Aaron. I think Aaron kind of like rode it out and didn't really get any injuries.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, were you ready for these roads? Like, was your skill level ready for Sonora back then?
Absolutely not. Um, it was cool that I was able to skate some of this shit. Oh my god,
Oof.
that's so bad. This run though, like when we're skating it, this was like the funnest fucking thing ever. But yeah, like we are not sending it, and I was kind of tripping on Aaron because Aaron had like a really interesting style of skating. That fool would skate with like his foot on the tail of like a 40-inch board, and he just kind of looked sketchy. I just slid out on my butt, but um, fuck, dude, this road was the best, and I feel like it's probably still the best, even with like the new pavement. This old pavement though was like very like marbly, like kind of like that shit that like your wheels like hiss on it. You feel like you're kind of like gliding on like smoothed out rocks.
I guarantee you, this stuff looks way better to slide on going as fast as you can than the new stuff because it's all fresh blacktop now.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what the fuck I hit in this clip coming up, but this was like one of the scariest crashes I've ever had. Yeah, I think it's like about to come up. Like,
Was it on pillars, the bottom section that you crashed?
yeah, like I crashed in the little right hand. It's not even a fucking corner. It's just a little bend, like right here. Um, fuck, dude. Fuck, Nick. Yeah, so I just pulled the board out from underneath myself.
That's like an
Dislocated.
exploded knee for sure.
Yeah, my knee. I was like washing my knee, like the road rash in uh this like river at the bottom of the hill, and I'm like scrubbing on my knee with soap, and I'm like, fuck, this like black shit's not coming off, and it turned out that it was the scar from like my ACL surgery was like charred. So it was like black, like smoked, like properly.
Oh
Uh,
my god.
and so I was so bummed, like that. I was like, I'm not done skating. Like these roads are too fucking sick. I'm not done skating. And I put on like some shorts because I knew we were about to skate a road that didn't involve any drifting. I think it's called like monitors. It's like the one where like James Kelly has that like horrible fucking wobble slam.
Some 60-mile-an-hour ish.
Yeah, and that's not this road. That road comes up like a little later in the edit. But when I'm skating in shorts and a hoodie, I'm trying to dry out the road rash on my leg because I had just died on Sonora. Yeah, this whole section, it was just like, I was like, I can stand on my board. Like, it'll probably dry up the road rash a little bit. But I never skate in shorts. I'm like, dude, this is so stupid. What are we doing?
Sounds like some ditch slap mindset. Like, oh, the air's dry, it's high, this should dry out quick.
Yeah, and I was honestly just like, I'm not sitting in the car to watch these fools skate this road. Like, this road looks sick.
Was there kind of like a bad, like, was there any like kind of bad energy, like if you were wearing knee pads and skating with this crew?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, like, dude, like, this is probably like one of my first times ever, like, going on a trip with like these dudes. Like, this was like the first trip to go like film or even like out of Medford. I like caught a rideshare bus to Blake Smith's house. And then we went from there into Yosemite for this trip. Um, but
Dude,
oh my god, oh my god,
you
Aaron,
guys have such different styles. I would be scared too.
Aaron had a very like you. It was like he's standing on his board and it's like, okay, he's definitely trustworthy, but then he just kind of do some crazy shit like out of nowhere, and it was like, whoa, bro, like
Sick.
definitely kept you on your toes. And yeah, I think like Breet wears in a couple of these clips because he came to shoot photos. Like, kind of sick. Like, got like a cool like DGM photo from this trip. Um, but yeah, like this road went on for like 45 minutes, like, or that's what it felt like. It just was long as fuck. Um, and I love roads like that. I love roads that, like actually you're not drifting, but you're just like cooking down a mountain with your homies.
Yeah, the raw run where you guys are like passing each other over and over. I got to watch that with like the Sunset Sliders crew in a house back when I lived in SF, and just hearing the stories be told from their perspective, like while they were filming and how the run was, and it was sick. It was like a director's commentary. So cool.
I would have loved to have like, I guess like hold the camera more, but I was honestly like intimidated by Chubbs back then because I was like, dude like skates so good that he can just like hold a camera and film us. Like I was like, I probably can't even like film anywhere as good as he can and skate as good as he's skating. Like Chubbs is an enigma. He's just fucking out of control, good at everything, and good at like, yeah, like um I don't know, like presenting information to make it like digestible. It was like, damn, I learned a lot hanging out with that dude and appreciate him a lot. Yeah, and like, fuck, dude, some of these like filming missions and stuff, they were like only fun because of the crew. Like honestly, I put a lot of stress on myself over filming, and I always didn't actually like enjoy it a whole lot because I was just like a little too hypercritical or whatever. Um,
Well, you were super solid at events. Like you were definitely like a performative event skater, but I guess when you're filming, how do you feel like it changes your mindset? Like, uh, does it feel the same as when you're filming street parts, or what do you think?
yeah, it's probably a bit from that. Like growing up with a crew of homies that we did street skating and filming that with, I was just like, you're always just like way critical about everything. Dude, driving the right hand drive, that's sick. um, but you know, sometimes just like, yeah, maybe a little bit overthinking it and being like, yeah, like it's got to be like this good or whatever. It's like, dude, you probably should have just filmed more and had more to choose from instead of being like, oh, like even just going to some roads and being like, I'm not gonna fucking do a stand up slide down this, but it's like it's beautiful. Like look at the pasture in the background and like the greenery. Like it's just not a serious road. But
Right. You were saying that um, sometimes filming for longboarding felt a little bit more kind of like picturesque or like brand marketing than it did like filming a gnarly skate part.
maybe, maybe, but also it's like, you know, that's kind of up to the person skating a little bit. Like you can make it gnarly, um, kind of crazy. Like I've filmed stuff for like product videos and shit that I'm like, I'd like to see those clips because I've skated some roads in Malibu and gotten some clips there, whereas like they're just using like these little pieces of it, and it's like, oh, but that whole run is actually like pretty gnarly. So stacking clips with downhill stuff is like, I remember, yeah, I got like a clip on like, I don't know if that's not Decker. I can't even remember what the road is in Malibu anymore. Um, but stuff stuff that was like, it's like if it's fun and it's scary, it's probably gonna be a good clip. Um, but you know, it's hard to find spots like that. It's hard to find spots like that for street skating. So it's just like, yeah, it's almost just like film more. Maybe it doesn't always have to be the gnarliest thing, but um, I think a lot of skating and think it's really gnarly. So
How was it like starting to film with the Caliber crew and all these dudes who you hadn't really skated with much of, or let alone filmed with? Like, was that process of kind of getting comfortable with them and like, figuring out how to skate with them in videos, like a good process, like a good learning experience? Like, how was that time?
dude, at times, yeah, it was really fun. Um, definitely like people like Chubbs and people like Blake Smith made it like pretty cool because you like knew that those dudes had like good artistic intention with what they wanted to present. Um, and yeah, like uh, Blake had me like work with him a little bit on the edit for Alpine Roots, and that was just like kind of the start of like, oh, it's cool to like have a say in like what the direction might be, or what you want to see the skating represented through. Because yeah, skating is like a cool artistic expression, but sometimes, um, yeah, you know, like it's not always the most comfortable. So being around like a good crew of homies that help make it comfortable to film and be creative, like that's like the best thing you could ask for. Um,
Were you much of a filmer? Like, was that kind of like on your list of things you wanted to do? Because when skating with like the PDX downhill crew, I know sometimes it's like, all right, does anyone have a camera? Oh, no one's got a camera. Are we not filming this? Like, it was kind of tough to get footage. Like, how are you? How is your relationship with like them for, stacking clips versus like these Caliber team trips, or like that was the goal? Like it must have been nice having like both, a film trip and also just like a homie skate trip, so you didn't have to worry about filming at those parts.
Yeah, dude, honestly, I always just thought like, fuck, if somebody captures this, I'm so stoked, but it's not gonna be me. Cause like having somebody like talk shit about like your angle or like how you shot something, like, and you're skating in it, it's just like, oh fuck, like that's a double lose situation. So I might as well just like focus on the skating. Cause yeah, I've definitely had like little cameras and stuff, and bought the suction mount for the car and shit, and try to get people motivated to go filming. But it's not easy. It's not easy to get people motivated because it's intimidating. And certainly, like, yeah, like I said, like first couple times, like filming, like skating the same road as James or whatever, you're just like, fuck, dude, like point a camera at him. Like I don't want to fucking get footage. Like he looked.
Well, everyone's so good back then. Like I mean, especially this trip, like everybody on the trip was a shredder. So, I mean, yeah, we could have fucking spent another 2 weeks out here filming and probably not gotten decent footage of everybody.
Dude, this was epic though. That dude just donating us a little a goat from his farm. Like that was epic.
Yeah, I've had a few people on the podcast who are very, very hyped on that moment in time, myself included.
Yeah, like his little, like his kid, like I think like there's Cash, I think was that kid's name. Like he was so good at skating, but then yeah, his dad was just like, "You guys look hungry. Like you should have this goat." It's like, fuck yeah.
I heard that was Chubb's doing. He's the guy who manifested that shit. Or it might have been James. And there's a lot of manifestation talk going on apparently about getting like a luau.
Oh my god, dude, there's Tepe clips in this video. This is epic.
This is the first time I skated Tepe.
Look at this Tom, dude.
I definitely couldn't skate it like this back then.
Yo, shout out to Tom. Tom is the
Yeah.
fucking man. Shout out Dave, the whole Santa Barbara. Eric Singer. I remember we skated. Oh, fucking Alec. Oh my god, dude! I thread the needle right here. This is like I get like 2 clips in this video, but this needle thread was legendary. um, fucking Adian. I've had to do some sort of needle thread with me and Adian on numerous accounts. Oh my god.
Jesus.
Tepe is such a good road, but seems like it takes people out like when they're least expecting it. So
I don't know if you've watched the clips of like recent Tepe and tacos, but there's always like some absolutely destruction happening in that fucking footage. Like everyone just dies somehow.
yeah, I don't want that. Not on that road because it's like that road really feels like a skate park. And I've definitely been skating like downhill before and like looked in front of me and seen like how somebody's like standing on their board and just being like, "Oh, you've not been in a skate park before."
Mm-hmm.
And Tepe is very skate park, like being able to transition over the crest of the road. It's just like skating in the park. And some people are kind of like just hanging on for dear life skating Tepe. So it's like, yeah. Fuck.
I need to skate more Tepe. So we're gonna get into some uncomfortable conversations here. I think we got to dive into the whole Caliber and Arbor like implosion, and like how that kind of went, because I feel like the whole longboarding world, the community, the scene was very excited to see when Caliber and Arbor merged, and all those welcome to the team videos came out, and everyone got to see their homies. It's just like really having a like stint of success in a big company. um, Tell us about kind of like your experience during that time, and towards the end of it, kind of like what happened with that for you personally.
Yeah, I guess I could just like kind of make it like kind of a compressed version, but ultimately, man, like Arbor combining with Caliber didn't necessarily feel like I don't know, actually, like, like what it seemed like was like, oh, Arbor completes that are sold at Zoomies are gonna have calibers on them. Um, and with like deals kind of like that, business dealings, I'm like, dude, that's not my department. Like, I just fucking skate. But then those business dealings ended up kind of having an impact on the dynamic of the team with the company that's like providing people, yeah, like we had salaries, we had travel budgets. I was being offered like a pro model board from Arbor, um, and it came at a time that was like kind of like, oh, like I don't even think I'm like like there's kids up and coming that are probably going to be way better, like whatever. Not necessarily like too worried about like my own skate future because I honestly wanted to learn about having a job and like how to like not just exist off of skateboarding financially.
So you were kind of already like on the road to tapping out at this point.
It's weird. It wasn't necessarily like tapping out, but a little bit of like burnout from, yeah, I think I was thinking about this recently of just like when you're injured and you don't have any sponsor obligations and you just like, okay, I'll take the time off so I can come back to skating and be healthy. Um, versus having to skate because and then you have an injury and you still have to skate and it's like dude that really burns you out on the thing where you're like I'd rather not be doing this because I would be doing this regardless of sponsors, like I'd be doing this for myself. I will be skateboarding, but yeah, my shoulder was in a bad spot, wasn't making like a whole lot of money because when the events were going on, like you could make some money like skating and competing, but it's not the whole lot. And yeah, like kind of wanted to like get a trade or like learn how to like just keep myself sustainable, have like my own place to live and stuff. So yeah, early 20s it was like, okay, this thing is happening with Caliber and Arbor, um, and it's not working out, and I kind of wanted to, yeah, just like do my own thing for a little bit. And I've always had like this weird thing. Um, it's like if you let something go and it makes its way back, like then that's what it was like meant to happen. But if it doesn't, then that's fine. That's what was meant to happen either way. So um, skating hills and like racing, I guess it's like, dude, like I had to take a pretty big break from it just to get my body healthy again. Had a almost like a 5-year thing with like the shoulder, knees, back stuff. Um, Probably from crashes like this one where I was trying to run stuff out, like from street skating.
Oh my god, dude, gnarly.
From street skating, I thought I could run shit out all the time. Like that was like my first thought in my head when something goes fucking wrong was that I could run it out. And like I ran cross country and track in school, so I was like, I could fucking run this shit. Um, a lot of the case, no, actually, you can't run that shit out. So found out the fucking hard way.
And yeah, no knee pads either, so you're running at 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, this shot right here, that's the homie Tristan, who is no longer with us, but he took really good care of us when we were in New Zealand and like, yeah, made it just like a fucking awesome trip. We got to stay at his pad and had like one of the most like ridiculous times of all time. I guess if you were there and but like the stories are for like other environments. But man, wonderful humans out there. People like this dude Jay. Um, Dude, fuck. Like I was like complaining like about like my shoes or something, and this dude was just like, "Oh, look, I got a friend. Like, I'll go get you some shoes." And like, they just fucking like hooked it up so fat, took care of us, um, and I'm like, yeah, forever grateful to like all those people that like we met everywhere we got to go. Um, you know, people like this dude Tristan. It's like, man, unfortunate that just like open road skating is dangerous, and like people got to be aware of that. But like, you know, that's not like we weren't like filming these videos to tell kids like, hey, like go like skate out of control on these roads. But like, dude, this fucking place Wellington where that kid Tristan's from, like crazy best roads ever. Like I thought some of these were like some of the funnest things I ever got to skate.
Did you skate with Stephen Davis while you were down there?
I couldn't tell you if I remember or not. I remember mostly Tristan and then this kid Ben, who I think is like still making like air helmets. Ben Amick. And
Damn,
like,
Tal's getting gnarly in this video.
bro, those clips where we're like pointing the camera behind the car and shit, like that shit was gnarly.
This video is low key like fucking good. Like the skating in this video is insane.
We were all like kind of on one for this trip. I would think that's like why I was like, oh, this one is like pretty important to me, because like yeah, you know, like sometimes like in the edit, some of the things that come through the edit reflect that energy that was on the trip. And it's like
Tal mode every time he turns around.
Jack picked some like pretty like vibey music for this edit, and I'm like, dude, happy that it's still, you know, you can still see it on Facebook or whatever. But
I was super bummed when this one just disappeared off YouTube. I was like, no.
yeah, but yeah, do you think thanks to all the people out there with their like little longboard vlog websites and shit, like able to like save the things. For some reason this night, like this is James skating right here. This is me. I don't know why we're wearing the same fucking thing basically, but I have a white helmet. But I felt super on one like this evening when we were skating. I just kind of was like, I'm on an open road, but it's a racetrack, and it's like I know this racetrack, but I've never been here. It was a pretty strange feeling.
Something about maybe like the curvatures of the road or being on that side of the road for difference.
Allegedly, this whole town was drawn before it was built, and so all of the roads kind of feel the same. Like you drop in on one road, and you're like, oh, it's going this way. And these are like how like long the corners are and stuff. Like everything was like strangely predictable, even though it's like we have to skate on the left side of the road and it's dark. But yeah, we were just being like fucking hooligans out there in New Zealand. It was super fun.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, if this stuff was never filmed, like downhill skateboarding would probably have just been stuck and never really grown. Like this kind of footage, you know, it's just insanity.
I don't know. I'm stoked on like all the other stuff, like, you know, like Alex putting in that work for like Valhalla and shit, like some of the Venom videos and stuff, like that stuff like got me super hyped. So it's very like reciprocal. I feel like the whole community kind of bringing what they had to offer and making something out of it. And like the way that clips come out these days, how quickly they're digested through Instagram and stuff, it's like doesn't really do anything for me. Like if I glance at my phone occasionally, or like whenever I open up Instagram and I see like a Diego clip, it's kind of like it's gone pretty quickly.
Yeah.
As far as it's like, and dude, that dude shreds. He should probably just put his efforts toward filming a part or something with like a song that he's really into, like make it something meaningful, because that's like that's very core skateboarding, is making it like an artistic composition of what it is you're trying to express on, you know, like the skateboard as an instrument, or you know, a vehicle of self-expression. um, that's like a really big part of it. You know, racing and events and stuff is kind of the fun part, I think, like for me. But being able to like express something like through the footage, like I remember someone came up to me at one of the premieres and they were like, "Bro, like you went the fastest out of anybody in that whole video. I like that." And I was like, "Thanks, bro. Like that was really nice of you to say that." But I think that's what I was trying to get across was that I, yeah, I can throw my board sideways. That's cool, but I kind of just want to pin it and see what the top speed of the road is that I'm trying to skate.
It's interesting, like how different like aspects of skateboarding are like inspiring certain people based on what they are. Like for example, pinning hits and or maybe like just doing the fastest lines will get someone out of the woodwork to skate, whereas they wouldn't have given a shit otherwise if it was just all free ride shit.
Totally. Every different strokes for different folks. Everybody's into what they're into, and yeah, it's also like individual based. Although when I was growing up, I saw like this DVS video called "Skate More." There's a bunch of people in it, damn one song, but there's a part with Zared Bassett and Dennis Busenitz share a part, and they have like a Black Sabbath song to the video, and it's like, dude, that was so influential. And still to this day, if I watch it, I'm like, I want to go skate right now, because there's like speed and technicality, and then like the rhythm of the song is just like, "The Wizard" by Sabbath is like what convinced me to like start playing the drums. I thought that was like this sounded like a lot of fun, like what I was hearing, and yeah, I think that shouldn't be lost just because we have these like miniature computers in our pockets. I think people should still put in like an effort towards filming and making something that they're like proud of as far as like an art form. Because yeah, it can be in the Olympics, it can have its like world roller games, that's cool, whatever, but that's not necessarily the thing that's going to reach like the kid who wants to do it next. And those are like, like the thing will die off if the kids don't want to do it, if they don't think that it's intriguing. Man, what's that, like the Kings of the Mud thing? I We were like camping and somebody had a projector and they were like, "We're gonna watch this," and it's like, "Oh, that's sick!" Like and it was really dope. Like it was dope to like sit like almost what felt like a theater vibe and watch something like that with like a bunch of homies. Like we were camping for one of Nick's downhill events, and yeah, it's just like it's stuff like that is like worth making something out of it. Like, yo, we're gonna like set up the projector and watch this thing. It's like you're not gonna do that with any of the like Instagram clips. And I don't know, hopefully more and more people realize that, or at least the younger generation realizes that like filming and putting effort towards a bigger project or a bigger film endeavor is what's like actually worth it. Just this turn and burn style of using clips for stuff, it's like it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't make me like want to go skate. It just makes me like be like, wow, gnarly. But other than that, I don't. It doesn't do anything for me. And videos like Fully Flared back in the day, like the old Lakai video, majorly impactful to me and like a lot of people who skate. Oh, there's so much stuff, but there needs to be like an outlet for it, and Instagram doesn't really feel like the thing.
I think that these like product videos are kind of like a mix between like road trip and product style. They are definitely like well received and probably get the most views of anything on YouTube. So tell us about like whose idea it was to make this project. I know you were working on the wheels, the blood orange Alpines. So like, who came up with the concept of this video and the idea, and what was your role?
Yeah, thanks, dude. This was basically like I got a call like, "Hey, can you organize a trip for the wheels? We want to film a video, like pretty much skating like big mountain roads." So this is actually all like kind of what would be like Morgan Owens is like neighborhood, not like where he lives, but like this is like the zone of like hills that when he started to hit us up, we were like going down there to skate these roads, and we'd link up with him. Um, and super fun mountain roads in Northern California. And this was just like, I don't know if it was like a 4-day camping trip, but we had great weather the whole time and a really good crew. Um, Even got to like get the homie in some of the clips, like Connor wasn't like affiliated with like Blood Orange or anything, but I was like, oh, you're definitely coming on this trip, like we'll get you some clips. And then yeah, like was really hyped on a couple of these roads in particular because they were just like fast, and it's like, yeah, they will actually tell us whether the wheels are good or not. And look like, you know, for the most part, like the wheels handled it. Because yeah, Chubbs and I put in a lot of testing, a lot of effort to try to get these wheels to be somewhat like what we wanted. And yeah, they were fun to skate. Like definitely when it came to racing, it was like, okay, like I kind of smoke, like I burned them because I just really front foot heavy and really hard on wheels when it came to like racing. But for all the other things that we would do, like man, they were really fun wheels.
Did you feel like you liked to do product development, and like were there more opportunities that you had looked forward to creating some stuff with Blood Orange at the time? Or
Um, no, it was really like that wheel, and then a little bit of like board design stuff with Arbor. Um, but like, dude, getting to do the wheel testing is like one of the like funnest things ever. Like Chubbs and I just got to just smoke a box of wheels in a weekend, and then like do it again the next weekend. Um, it was a lot of fun. Trying to like really like dial it in like what we wanted out of the wheel, and based off of like the information that we sent back, like we just ended up with the wheel, and it was like, yeah, this is great. Because back, yeah, nobody was trying to ride like a 78 millimeter wheel. Like that was way too big. And even like the, you know, if we put like a magnum size wheel on our 9-inch trucks, or our 10-inch trucks, even like whatever we were skating back then, that shit would have looked so funny.
well, think about this: like thin tracks existed back then, and no one skated them. But now that like trucks are a lot narrower, like people will skate that shit.
That's just the thing though, is like all the Maryhill Rats homies, Michael Roy, Nick Califato, Adian, um, those homies all ran Centrax, and I was like, those guys are gnarly because they're skating like, yeah, like I think Nick back in the day would ride like the smaller ish trucks, like not like tiny trucks, but like smaller, on kind of a shorter wheelbase, and it would be like, fuck, that guy's gnarly. Like he's skating like some shit that looks pretty twitchy and really grippy. Like I don't know how that's gonna work out, but um, dude, yeah, the first ever drift on a slalom board with Centrax, like I was like, whoa, that's I didn't know what to think about it because it was like I don't think I should be doing this. Like it was so like I literally just parked and saved, you know, like me and my friend, we didn't blow the stop sign or whatever. And it was just like, yeah, dude, must have been 2012 or something, like kind of a while ago.
Well, there's that time period that you weren't skating after kind of like taking a step back from Caliber and Arbor, like seeing the um like the evolution coming back to like small double spherical slalom trucks and like really fucking big wheels. Like once that started being like taken up by the broader community, were you kind of just like, nah, I'm not fucking with that? Or were you just like, oh, it does work. Case confirmed. I guess I'm just going to jump on that shit right away.
Like I thought people might have been like, oh, your board looks kooky or whatever, like looks kind of weird, being like small trucks, big wheels. And so then like, yeah, like when I started to see stuff again, because honestly like removed myself quite a bit when I was like going through some injuries and stuff, just to like just to focus really on myself. Like when I saw this, like, yeah, the new little boards with the big wheels, I was like, oh my God, they went like the kooky route, which is like very scientific and very nerdy. Like I was saying, it's like, oh, they're like embracing the inner nerd, and they're like kind of going full bore into the arrow helmet, the double toe stop shit. Like
Yep.
it's really fucking funny right now.
It's kind of like the reverse of street skating. I feel like the kooks are welcomed, and like everything that is like standardized is kind of like shunned.
Yeah, and you know what the funniest shit is, bro? Is it's all kooky. Like it's all pretty fucking wicky wacky. Like it doesn't fucking matter. Like if you're just like, yeah, doing kickflip back tails, or if you're bombing a hill, like you're a fucking nerd. You need to accept it. And yeah, like I think this shit is so funny because the more you lean into it, the more you can just like optimize your equipment for the fucking style of skating you're trying to do. Because the shit is dangerous.
Speaking of like the future, back in like 2016, I literally thought that this is going to be like the future of downhill skateboarding. Like, you know, downhill racing and shit, down mountain passes would probably still exist, but I thought this was going to be like, it's coming to every fucking town near you as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's funny, bro, how your perspective and the way you see things, like the way that you can see the future at a certain age, you're just like, oh my God, like this is like nobody's gonna ever bomb a hill, nobody's gonna slide ever again. Like this is what it is. But in reality, it's just like I think these dudes may have seen what we were doing and wanted to like kind of add on to it, but they did it so professionally. Like this shit was so good. Everything modularly fit into a storage container, like I think two storage containers, and they just like lugged all these ramps all over the place. They were so good.
If you're listening and not watching, this is like an Australia border cross series that took place in many different towns, right?
Yeah, there was like four stops, and I was like Brisbane, Sydney, one in the Gold Coast, and one in Melbourne. And I ended up winning like three of the four races because I got DQ'd at the first one, and I was so mad that I wasn't gonna lose any of the other races. But to trials and tribulations, man, like there's Rob Dog. Dude, honestly, all these people are like the best people ever.
Why did no one else from the States come to this? Like, I only see like you and Tal.
Okay, and James West was also there, and then also, oh my God, um, and JP came out for like the second half of it. Yeah, JP with short hair is so funny because I see him all the time, and he's got like super long hair these days. Um, but yeah, dude, people out there are so nice, and like honestly, like dude, some of the like funniest characters I've ever met in my life. Shout out Neil Duddy, that dude's the best.
I
Like,
want to meet those dudes, man. They sound like a good time.
dude, supreme characters. Like, just I I feel like I spent some time like straight like laughing to tears on like a nightly basis while I was there because yeah, like they'd like see you like holding up like a fucking $1,000 check, and they'd be like, they're like, all the beers on you. And I'd be like, fuck, dude, I'm not even like that heavy of a drinker, but like I would just like have the cash and like set aside like $300 just for alcohol that I wasn't gonna drink, but it was like for everybody. It was like pretty fucking funny. This like how much partying went down out there. It was like tackling binge drinking was like the sponsor or something because they have like a pretty severe drinking problem out there. Um, and dude, like it was just like a pretty funny time. And like honestly, I'm like, man, I would fucking retire or figure out how to get citizenship in Australia. So fucking
What would happen if like the skate bus crew in Australia met at a party?
They probably have lots of times, and probably like wonderful connectivity because, um, yeah, Australia, bro, like the people out there, and then it's very similar to like my dad growing up with South Africans, people from New Zealand, people from South Africa, people from Australia, always get fucking confused, but very similar sense of humor and like massive like appreciation for like life. And you can kind of like just like when there's like a an accumulative vibe that people put off, it's like, oh, like I fucking belong here. And
That's why I still fuck with downhill skateboarding. Like, even though a lot of the crew is not the same, like every now and then you get that just like you're sitting down and you're feeling like everything is perfect in the world and you don't have to think about anything.
absolutely, it's meditative, um, and like kind of it's interesting how you have to be doing something massively dangerous to achieve like proper meditation. Um, I don't think a lot of people understand that.
I think it's like a little bit of we're all out here surviving shit, and left after that, like everything else is just all good.
Yeah, it's bonus, but also, fuck, I was gonna say something like, um, yeah, no, hold on. Yeah, it's just like a good life skill to learn that, you know, you gotta like address your fears and your discomforts and stuff in order to, yeah, find like calm or inner peace, whatever that is. Um, and downhill skating is one of those things, or like, yeah, like I've been riding my motorcycle a little bit these last few years, and um, you're so concerned with not dying because trees are flying by you rapidly that you go into this ultimate focus and you just like we can't die, and that's where like your brain shuts off because you're just being. And I think that that's really important to have something in your life that allows you to access that part of your brain where you're just not thinking, you're not telling yourself this or that, you're just surviving. And that's like it's like parallels like a life skill that everybody needs to have. Survival. um, yeah, and downhill skating, it's like, man, fuck, I want people to experience this, but I also don't necessarily like care as much for like, yeah, watching clips of people skating in Laguna. I'm like, I don't care. Like I grew up there. I know how people just pull out of their driveway. They don't give a fuck. Um,
Yeah.
Laguna
So
is so island.
on that note, let's kind of take this thing towards the end. So with that in mind, that you want to like keep these like downhill, like homey energies kind of flowing and healthy. Do you feel like when you kind of stepped away from downhill and weren't a sponsored career skateboarder anymore, that was perhaps going away? Like, um, was it kind of a tough time after that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I was dealing a bit with like a whole lot of things in life, and honestly, like needing to spend time learning how to grieve. Because yeah, I don't know how. Like I've lost so many really close friends and people in my life that it's just like kind of confusing. Like, oh, like there's people in this world who've never lost anybody and they've never had an injury, and I'm like, I've lost like 7 close friends, broken 17 bones, and just dealt with emotional and physical injury in a capacity that's just like I don't wish this on anybody. Um, so learning how to process those things, learning how to recover and heal from those things has been like really important, more important than skating the last few years. And yeah, it's allowed me to like lighten up the scenario because I think times got pretty dark there for a minute, even though it was like wasn't being bad to myself. It just was like, dude, shit is just people are dropping left and right. And I didn't know necessarily how to process that kind of stuff. So you realize in the end that it's like, okay, you want to be around your friends. Had some really good conversations with Chubbs and really good conversations with Big Dave and Casey about, just like how important, community is, and reaching out to your friends, because if you don't reach out, people don't know anything's going on. Um, and like that's huge, so like I appreciate you for reaching out, because in the last couple of years, yeah, skating's been back on. Been skating a little bit of hills, doing a little bit of events, and it's really good to see people. It's really good to like be a part of the thing that it's like, oh dude, I was really in this, and then got out of it to, yeah, essentially just spend some time with self-care, or like learn about self-care, because it's important to take care of yourself, and if you're not, it's, people will recognize, and the real ones will reach out. So there's like a really funny song called like "Reach Out of the Darkness" that used to be like a big hit. um, Super sick bass line, but that's the thing. It's like reaching out is what you got to keep doing, and if you continue to reach out to people to extract these stories, like nothing but like good can come out of it, because it's, I listen to a lot of storytelling from a lot of like good interviewers these days, and it keeps me motivated to keep learning and acquiring perspectives.
Yeah. So like now that you've kind of gone through this darkness and kind of like found out how to self heal, I'm sure it's an ongoing process, as it is for us all. Uh, there's a lot of people going through it, especially in like the skateboarding world, skaters who just like are having a tough time with it. What could you like say that could help somebody that is having difficulty navigating the darkness and needs like some words of wisdom?
Yeah, honestly, reach out to your good friends, and even if it's intimidating, I would think, um, we all like kind of deep down know like who the real friends are, and like the people who like actually have your best interest in mind. Because the people who will like enable you to go down like the wrong path are obviously not going to be constructive for your future. And um, yeah, like listen. Like listening is such an important skill that everybody can benefit from being a better listener. um, and yeah, doing your best to stay positive, even though if like the world is pretty much garbage in a pretty rough state. It's like, oh well, at least you know about skateboarding, at least you know about playing music and art, um, and how beautiful the world is when you get out of your little bubble and you go traveling. There's so much to see, so many people to meet, that there's quite a lot to experience. And if um, you can like stay strong and stay laughing, like there's gonna be more, there's gonna be more bad and there's gonna be more good, and you're gonna have to just kind of like ride through it like rough pavement, just chunder life.
Battle stance it.
Yeah, seriously, hold it the fuck down, whatever you gotta do.
There's a lot of like thinking going through my head these days about how I have ride or dies, but they're not near me. And I want to be near them because I feel like you're saying, community is the most important thing. And can't be near everybody, Unfortunately, we're all spread out, but like being around no one is not the move.
Right, right. And like honestly, it's not easy to like live in the city sometimes, and honestly, God, fucking friends are so spread out these days that it's like, dude, to get them all in one place, that's impossible. But yeah, I have friends I grew up with in California that like, yeah, dude, one of the biggest thanks needs to go out to like my friend Andrew Jimenez, who helped me film that wheelbase video. He literally like came up from Orange County to Southern Oregon to like help me film that, and just was like one of those people that is just like a persistent positive light in my life. That it's like, dude, what a fucking G. And he's still filming and like sticking with it. And it's like I remember I asked him pretty intently when I was young, like, don't stop filming because you're good at it, and like I want to see where this goes. And also my friend Zach Fontes, who's like the photographer in the crew but also really good at skating. Those are homies I'm really connected with and feel very close to, like in my soul, but I don't get to see him really very often, or like, you know, I hear from him like once or twice a year. But other than that, I'm like, man, like making those connections is important, but also, you know, you're gonna make new connections and experience, you know, new friendships or new environments, new communities, and staying like persistent that like there's more to see and more to learn. Um, you know, that's definitely a good thing for because yeah, you can't really like there's not gonna ever be like you learned too much. So like,
Absolutely.
whether it's like listening to interviews or just engaging in conversation with like strangers or people you've never talked with, or people from like a much different walk of life than you know, you gotta reach out. And I think that's where like for me, like playing music these last few years is like almost brought me back to skating because I feel comfortable once again, where I'm like, cool, like uh, feeling comfortable in your own skin is like actually like something you have to work towards.
All right, so before we end this, I got a couple more guest questions. First from Salty Johnson, what's your favorite feature at Lag?
Wow, well, the pyramid is the first answer, but also the bump over the railing, that used to be my favorite thing. Or the that park is fucking great, honestly. Fuck yeah, the Lags. Thanks.
Is that Laguna Hills or Laguna Beach?
Laguna Niguel. It's a pink skate park, like the pavement is like that pink color. But fuck, bro, we used to hang out there quite a lot because it had lights till 10 or 11 when I was growing up. And Etnies, like the home skate park that I had, was closer to my house. Like you had to wear a helmet there, and it closed off at 10. A lot of the homies growing up did not want to skate in helmets, so we would end up there.
All right, another guest question. What's up with bacon pancakes?
Dude, there's just so many dumb, fucking awesome tunes that we would hear on skate trips. A lot of it being like Chubbs. Chubbs just be like on some shit with some funny ass music, or I'd get on some funny ass music because I'd be like, oh, Chubbs would think this is funny. Dude, there's that there's that like Jay-Z Beyonce remix of the Making Bacon Pancakes in New York, and there's like a 10-hour fucking mix of it. Just so much like stupid music that I can like think of a song and be like, that's from that skate trip where we pretty much only listened to that song for like 10 hours on a drive or something.
Bro, coming into the skate bus like years after y'all had kind of like torched that shit was like walking into a fucking like first contact like Aboriginal cave and seeing all the art on the walls.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still dude, I guess somebody like purchased it for $1 not very long ago. So that's pretty wild that the skate bus is on its next adventure. But I think we need a skate sprinter or whatever, like something that can take like 6 or 7 people. I started talking to my girlfriend recently. I was like, you know, I'll probably have to get a van and start doing some like longer skate trips and trying to like take the torch and take some of the knowledge that Casey's passed on as far as like where to go, what to do, but then also just like how to be a fucking supreme road dog. Casey is the fucking man, dude.
Yeah, dude. I don't think we've been on a skate trip together yet in a bus or any kind of vehicle. So we'll have to make that happen.
For real, for real.
I think I've got pretty much everyone else in the skate bus team except for you, maybe Alicia.
Yeah, elusive sometimes, but then sometimes like on every single trip. I don't know. I feel like there was a year you went to Ditch Slap and I didn't get to go, but I was like really trying to go. You went on the skate bus to Ditch Slap?
Yeah, I went. I think I've been on 2 ditch slap bus trips, and I've been to 4 ditch slaps so far. So yeah. So the question is from our homie Rob. I'm gonna put it on screen here.
Oh, break, give me a break, break me off a piece of that. Break that trick.
All right. So this is Break That Trick. We're going to be asking you a question about a trick you do, and we want you to break it down for us so that we can learn it ourselves. Part of this podcast is about learning new tricks, whether that's how to be a road dog or how to do a kickflip. So let's get into this one.
Yeah, like we were just trying to look for like I think even like too there's like Day One song clips coming out, but at that time of Day One skating rocks, and I was just like, dude, like this we were hunting for spots, like not finding anything. And me and Andrew stumbled on that like near a golf course or something. And it worked out because I cannot actually do very good backside big spins. So it's kind of like, yeah, my attempt at making that trick work, but like it worked out really good for some reason. I'm like, oh man, getting to work on filming stuff with like your really good homies, like the reason this edit turned out like, I really enjoyed filming it was like mostly because of Andrew, my good friend, yeah, who's still a skateboard filmer, or he films everything. Like he was filming some dude doing freestyle motocross like not very long ago.
So
There you go.
what is the tip on doing a pop shove it and landing on something like a rock sideways? Because it looked like your board almost like floated like up like this.
Yeah, that's like where like I put like my back foot is just in the like outside pocket for that trick. Kind of like funny, like you would think that it would be on the toe side edge, but it's actually on like the heel side edge of the board, and that's what makes it spin flat like that. Because when I do like a 360 pop shove, I put my foot on the heel side part of the board, in like kind of the pocket of the tail, and that gets it to like stay flat instead of doing like a tray flip. And yeah, I'm like, I'm so shit at like back 180s too. So I'm like, that's just like sick that spot like helped me do a trick that I'm like not very good at.
All right, we got another guest question from Rob here. He wants to ask you about something. So I'm going to put it on the screen here.
What does it take to film a great video part? At the Virtual Side Jam, we host basically a writer video contest, and I think our listeners could really benefit from hearing from someone like you what it takes to film a great part, especially a great solo skate edit. You have a great mix of downhill, like fast slides, mixed with really techie tricks, and would just love to hear your approach to making your edits, and would love to hear which one is your favorite. Thanks. Can't wait to hear it.
Dude, hell yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah, I guess like being really intentional with like, okay, like if a spot I guess like speaks to you, like dude, honestly, like skating those rocks, like there's 2 rock clips in that video, and they were like right next to each other, but it was like I set out that day like I wanted to skate like some rocks, like I wanted to find something that was more like a natural spot, and so it's like, yeah, it's kind of funny like how like almost like before you're even like the filming starts, it's like have an intention of like what it is you're trying to achieve by getting a clip. And so that's where it like feels a little funny. Like sometimes like strapping a camera to the front of a car at a road that you've never been to, you're just kind of like, this is not very intentional. So um, being deliberate about like the clips that you get is super important, I think, because you really recognize that when somebody puts out some footage. I feel like there's that dude like Chris Colburn or like Cookie. His clips are just out of control, but it's like I think that dude like is like really handpicks like the spots that he skates and has like a trick in mind for a spot, and it feels like an artistic presentation, like you're looking at something in an art gallery. It's not just like something that somebody wanted to slap up on the Instagram. So hell yeah, dude.
Fuck yes, I 100% agree with you. Cookie is insane.
The way that clips come out these days is like that's like the emotion that it invokes, but when you really see art or you really listen to music, the emotions that come through are because of like what you're feeling. And yeah, dude, it's hard to get much feeling out of like stuff you see on Instagram, but occasionally you'll see a clip and be like, God damn, like yeah, mostly it's just like Diego is just like putting out sick clips, like props to him. Um sick, it's sick to see like where his skating is going.
For sure. And yeah, I think what you're saying about skate parts evoking a feeling, like, they can do that and you can make that video. It just takes some effort and some intention, like you're saying. Like, I think we could make a whole ass episode about intention and video parts through the ages. Like, you've got Loaded, Orangutan, like, what was their intention with those styles of videos? Or OHF TV, like, what were their intentions with all their styles? Or like Blood Orange, Caliber, Bustin', like the OG days of videos with like the downhill skateboarding were like much different than they are now.
Yeah, huge props to like Louis and James and like Matt and who else was like that, like Cody Noble, like who like the people making Skatehouse Media happen, like Alex, that put in like a solid effort into just like yeah, dude, showing us like what was up and then just keeping it very regular, like how often they were putting up stuff on the Skatehouse. Like Skatehouse was a gem. That was a very, very influential time. Like I feel for those kids that don't like have something like that when it comes to downhill these days. Like it's not like it's fucking necessary, but for keeping the hype going and being like, when me and my friend David, we were just getting into hill bombing, or even like these kids, Anthony and Matt, that I met in high school. Actually, some of the kids I like bombed my first ever hills with. Um, I'd show them some of those videos, and it was like they had zero comprehension of what it looked like, and then like they had some idea, and then the next video they'd watch, they'd have another idea, and it would just progress from there. And you're like, this is benefiting somebody, so it's very valuable. And yeah, I massively appreciate those dudes for just like yeah, honestly, I just figured that this whole thing was just gonna be me for 3 hours saying thanks to all the people. For real, thanks Kurt for making this happen, dude.
Let's get into our hot takes here. All right. Toe side or heel side?
Toe side.
Ramps or rails?
Rams.
Favorite skate trip food?
Breakfast burrito.
Hell yeah. Best place to skate?
Anywhere.
Do you crumple or roll your toilet paper?
What the fuck, dude? Hold that shit. What the fuck?
Soft wheels or hard wheels?
Neither.
90A. Favorite Duro?
101.
Really? Okay. Would you rather ride POW or ride a freshly paved road?
Pow.
Ooh.
Take that back. Actually, I fucking hardly go snowboarding. It's probably a fresh paved road. I'm like so excited when I get to a fresh paved road. That was a fuck up.
All right. Skate trip. Where you going? Who's in the van?
Oh, fuck. bro. We're gonna go to Australia. We're gonna go to Bathurst, and we're taking everybody, the Casey, JP, Pat, Noah Throckmorton, Connor Stanek, and we're gonna run like a rogue race heat down Bathurst. Chubbs is coming too, but he has to hold the camera because he's too fast.
All right, most memorable event.
Cat Planet, the Cat Planet, where we got the downhill race win. That was really good. AJ, that was sick as fuck. Ahead of my time with the double drift, bro.
Do you listen to music when you skate? And what's your favorite song?
The Wizard by Black Sabbath, and sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Surfing, skating, or snowboarding, if you had to pick one.
Obviously skateboarding.
Hell yeah. If you could skate with any skater, dead or alive, who would it be?
Animal Chin. Or Tommy Guerrero. Or
Yeah.
Cliff Coleman. There's so many people.
All right, if you could live anywhere, where would it be?
Byron Bay, Australia.
Do you call it longboarding or downhill skateboarding?
Downhill.
All right, is downhill a sport, a lifestyle, or an art?
Ooh, it's more sport than it is art. And I think, I definitely don't like the lifestyle thing. So I'm gonna say it's a sport, art. It's art, sport,
It's a sport.
sport.
All right, who would your ideal sponsor be that's not a longboarding brand?
I thought about this. Yamaha.
Ooh, nice. What's the kookiest trend happening now?
Double foot stops.
You talking toe stops?
Whatever they are, or like the Slipknot looking toe stop that has the spikes for your front foot. I don't like that, dude.
Oh yeah. What's the kookiest thing you've ever done?
The list is so long, Kurt. I don't even know how to answer this.
Last question. Who's the GOAT?
I have to take a moment to think about this. His name is Dave Tenassi. Big Dave, known by most of us. That's the GOAT. Greatest of all time style, greatest human. And I think like that's the thing for me is like, dude, just be a fucking good human. Doesn't matter about like wins, footy, contest, shit, nothing. Like, be a good dude. The rest will come. So, love you, Big Dave.
Well, hell yeah, man. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. No matter what life throws at us, it's probably going to go sideways. So you might as well ride it out in style.
Oh, that's such a good one, dude. And we're going to have that, like when I walk in my house, that's what I'm going to see. Like, whatever you just said. That was sick.
Well, this podcast is called Can't Kickflip. And sometimes kickflips go sideways. And sometimes you just start sliding and never look back.